Chapter 1580. Go to Scarlet Flame's Academy and report there? Yuan was startled. She originally thought she still had some time and didn't expect the time to come so fast. Yes. Ji Xiaoran's light chuckle was heard through the phone. Go there sooner to avoid unnecessary complications. Unnecessary complications. Yuan was speechless. Did she look like someone who liked to cause unnecessary complications? All right, I understand. Is there anything else? She asked. Don't forget to bring the recommendation letter I gave you, and take more experts from the Fearless Alliance with you. The areas around the 3 great academies aren't too peaceful. If you don't find it troublesome, I can have Skeleton escort you. Ji Xiaoran instructed her gently. Yuan automatically shook her head and hastily said, No need for the trouble. I can gather some people when I'm back at the Fearless Alliance. Okay, contact me at any time if a problem arises. Then, Ji Xiaoran hung up. Yuan fell back on her pillow and slept for a bit more. When she woke up again, she washed up and greeted Madame Nia good morning. However, she didn't mention she was going to enroll at Scarlet Flame's Academy later. The 3 great academies of the independent state were a bit particular in that they maintained a neutral position. They didn't offend any party, but could offend any party at the same time. The 3 great academies accepted mercenary missions from any country, including assassinating the heads of the 4 great clans. Even Emperor Ji and Lord Azura had their names featured in the charts of the 3 great academies. Aside from assassination missions, there were also many bizarre and peculiar missions. Yuan even heard a Fearless Alliance higher-up mentioning that someone from a mercenary academy wanted a strand of Lord Azura's hair. The mission had been posted for many years, but no one could finish it, so this mission had been raised to S+ level. None of the factions in the independent state liked the mercenary academies, but no one would offend them either. If Yuan informed Madame Nia that she was heading to Scarlet Flame's Academy, Madame Nia would probably object, so it would be better to just not mention it. After leaving the Nia residence, Yuan drove back to the Fearless Alliance. It was only after arriving at the Fearless Alliance that Yuan realized Big Dipper sent her a text telling her he was taking a day off to keep his mother company at the hospital. Yuan didn't mind. She took out her makeup and started messing with her face in front of a mirror inside the office. About an hour later, Yuan nodded with satisfaction at her image in the mirror. This was perfect. Her makeup guaranteed that even her real parents wouldn't recognize who she was. This chapter is scrapped from Read Light Novel. Org Sis Phone. The office door was opened, and 7 Star entered expressionlessly while carrying a stack of documents. As soon as Yuan turned around, 7 Star was taken back. The duo blankly stared at each other in silence. Who are you? 7 Star took a step forward, and his figure arrived in front of Yuan with a cold glint in his eyes like a ghost. An extremely ugly woman actually sneaked into the office of the Fearless Alliance's president. However, Yuan was immensely satisfied by 7 Star's reaction. It appeared her makeup wasn't bad indeed. Even 7 Star didn't recognize her. What are you panicking about? Yuan asked with a frown. 7 Star's right hand, which was reaching for Yuan, froze in midair. He didn't recognize the face, but the voice was very familiar. Sis Phone. Disbelief and shock were shooting out of 7 Star's eyes as she stared at the ugly-looking Yuan. Chapter 1581. Yes, it's me. Yuan nodded. Sis Phone, what are you? After confirming Yuan's identity, 7 Star became more shocked. Why does she suddenly look like this? You really can't recognize me with this makeup on? Yuan asked with a smile. 7 Star shook his head. Sis Phone, this is makeup? I thought it was the art of disguise. Yuan laughed. Some women's superior makeup skills were no different from the art of disguise anyway. Sis Phone, you look like you changed heads, 7 Star said after a moment of thought. This is called changing face. Yuan glanced at 7 Star. 7 Star, place the documents on the desk, then call First Elder and Third Elder here, she instructed. All right, 7 Star nodded and did as she asked before leaving the office. A moment later, First Elder and Third Elder entered Yuan's office at the same time, both afraid they'd fall behind the other person. Press. Third elder was about to call, but became stunned when he saw Yi Wanwan's hideous makeup. He darkly shouted, "Who are you? How dare you trespass into the Fearless Alliance's territory?" "What's the panic?" Yi Wanwan glanced at Third Elder. "Don't you recognize me?" "President." Third Elder was flabbergasted upon hearing Yi Wanwan's voice. "This woman is the president of our Fearless Alliance. Why did she switch heads?" "I'm about to head to Scarlet Flames Academy. Accompany me there, but you can leave after dropping me off at Scarlet Flames Academy," Yi Wanwan said. First Elder and Third Elder were both higher-ups of the Fearless Alliance and rarely made public appearances, nor did they have any interactions with the three great academies. They were unlike Seven Star and Big Dipper, who were active members in the independent state and easily recognized. "President, why are you going to Scarlet Flames Academy?" First Elder looked at Yi Wanwan with incomprehension. "To go undercover," Yi Wanwan answered. As the president of the Fearless Alliance, she naturally couldn't tell the elders that she was going to enroll in Scarlet Flames Academy as a student. How disgraceful would that be? However, if she said she was going undercover, it sounded all right. First Elder and Third Elder met each other's eyes. "I recently heard that someone issued a mission at Scarlet Flames Academy asking for my head, so I'm using my current appearance to enroll at Scarlet Flames Academy as a student for a semester. I'll locate the person who issued that mission and eliminate them and their family." Yi Wanwan made up an excuse. First Elder smiled. "No wonder. This was something our President Fearless would do." "I see." Third Elder was pensive. Who was so suicidal and just had to offend their president? "Come over here, you two. I'll also do your makeup," Yi Wanwan said to First Elder and Third Elder. "President, we rarely appear publicly in the independent state. The people from Scarlet Flames Academy probably won't recognize us, so we don't need any makeup," First Elder said. "Quiet. Sit here," Yi Wanwan commanded with a frown. It would be better to do their makeup for safety reasons. If they were recognized, how would she, President Fearless, get by in the independent state in the future? First Elder and Third Elder sighed helplessly. Since resistance was futile, they could only behave and allow Yi Wanwan to do whatever she pleased. After a round of fumbling, Yi Wanwan nodded with satisfaction as she examined the two elders' makeup. They looked like they had aged a decade or so. After finishing the preparations, First Elder summoned an elite member of the Fearless Alliance. This member was in his 60s, but looked spirited and vigorous, and had superb martial arts skills. Chapter 1582, President. When the time comes, we won't enter the academy in case we're recognized. To avoid suspicion, he will lead you inside the academy, President, First Elder explained. "All right," Yi Wanwan said. "Greetings, Madam President." The elderly man was bursting with excitement when he saw Yi Wanwan. This ugly-looking woman standing in front of him was the boss of the Fearless Alliance, Bro Flattop. "No need for politeness," Yi Wanwan said with a smile. "Thank you, President," the elderly man nodded frantically. Soon, the group of four left the Fearless Alliance and drove to Scarlet Flames Academy. "President, a student from Scarlet Flames Academy tried to assassinate piece of shit earlier, but I heard there's no news of them anymore," First Elder informed Yi Wanwan inside the car. "Assassinate piece of shit?" Yi Wanwan wore a strange expression. Which student was so suicidal and accepted this kind of suicidal mission? They had no one to blame but themselves. Since there was no news, Ishuehan probably took care of him. Ishuehan wasn't easy prey. After all, the three great academies were all mercenary academies and didn't target any specific person or group. They would accept any mission that was suitable, and their students would be responsible for completing them. However, there are some super difficult missions that most people normally wouldn't accept. For example, obtaining a strand of hair from Lord Azura or obtaining a ring from Emperor Ji. In the case of a mission like obtaining Ishuehan's life, only idiots or suicidal people would accept it. Otherwise, no mercenary would accept that kind of mission. Half a day later, Third Elder drove the car to the base of a mountain. Scarlet Flames Academy, one of the three great mercenary academies, was located at the top of the mountain and prohibited the entry of cars. Any visitor had to enter the academy by foot. As people said, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. They had no choice but to leave the car. This journey wasn't too peaceful, just like G. Chiron said. There was an extremely large amount of students participating in the entry examination this year, and Yuan witnessed many intense fights that erupted for no reason. However, their journey was still fairly peaceful and smooth. You too can leave. Yuan flicked her hand at First Elder and Third Elder. President, we'll escort you up the mountain. Third Elder was all smiles. No need. Leave, Yuan declined. Third Elder. Did they suffer such geriatric-looking makeup and a long and intense journey just to chat with the president in the car and keep her from being bored? No way would the two elders realize that their president took them with her merely in fear of accidents happening during the journey, thus needing them as bodyguards. Since they safely arrived at the destination, it was naturally time for the two elders to leave. And so, First Elder and Third Elder were forced to leave. The elite member of the Fearless Alliance was kept back, though. The people participating in Scarlet Flames Academy's examination were typically composed of the younger generation of major factions and normally needed to have clansmen with them. Even normal people needed to bring family members with them. This was because Scarlet Flames Academy needed to figure out the family situations of enrolling students in case no family members came to pick up the corpses if students failed their missions and were killed. Elderly sir, what's your name? Yuan asked with a soft chuckle as she looked at the elite member standing next to her servilely. President, you're overwhelming me. Please call me Little Lou, the elderly man answered with trepidation. An elderly man, who is obviously in his 60s, is calling himself Little Lou. I really can't say out loud. Chapter 1583. How about you pretend to be my grandfather, and I'll pretend to be your granddaughter? Yuan asked him with a smile. President, that'd be inappropriate. This subordinate wouldn't dare. The elderly man frantically shook his head. Calling the president fearless his granddaughter? Was that a joke? You should know about Scarlet Flames Academy. If you don't pretend to be my grandfather, how can I sneak in and go undercover as a student? The elderly man visibly struggled for a moment before finally nodding. Then, all right, but you must pardon me for my disrespect, President. It's no offense, no offense. I'll give you an extra drumstick and add a merit to your file when we get back, Yuan said with a smile. Okay. The elderly man nodded lightly. Soon, Yuan and the elderly man started hiking up the mountain. On the way there were many young men and women from the major and minor clans in the independent state appearing like a tide and rushing up the mountain. Elder Lou, is that you? A cheerful voice was heard from behind them. The elderly man looked behind him. President Fearless, this is an elder from a patrician family located near the Fearless Alliance's territory. The elderly man, Elder Lou, quietly informed Yuan. The new elder soon arrived in front of them with a young man and woman behind him. Elder Lou, this is... The elder looked at Yuan. My granddaughter, Elder Lou answered aloofly. Oh, you actually have a granddaughter? Didn't your son die many years ago? I thought your Lou family bloodline was extinct. However, if she's only your granddaughter, it's the same as your line going extinct, the elderly man said with an airy chuckle. Elder Lou's expression shifted, but he didn't want to say anything, not wanting to cause unnecessary complications. Elder Lou, look at how thin and fragile your granddaughter is. Why did you let her come to Scarlet Flames Academy to enroll? I reckon she'll die in a mission eventually. So you should take her home now, the elderly man continued with a smile. That's none of your business, Elder Lou said coldly. Haha, I was just being kind. Forget it if you're ungrateful. Say, your martial arts are mediocre, so your granddaughter's martial arts must also be very average. Scarlet Flames Academy is one of the 3 great mercenary academies in the independent state, so their entry requirements are very strict. I don't think your granddaughter can even pass the first round of examinations. Even if she passes, she won't turn out to be much in the future. So why don't you have her follow your path and enter the Fearless Alliance? After she becomes a member of the Fearless Alliance, it wouldn't be a problem for her to just scrape together a living until she dies. The elderly man guffawed. After the young man and woman behind the elderly man glanced at Yi Wan, contempt filled their faces, and they both shook their heads while chuckling. This girl was incredibly ugly. What could she use to get into Scarlet Flames? Was she going to use her face to scare the examiners to death? Thank you for your concern, Elder Lu said placidly. Haha, Elder Lu, don't be so distant. Look at my grandson and granddaughter, the elderly man introduced with a smile. And not bad. Elder Lu was expressionless. Why aren't you greeting Elder Lu? The elderly man looked at his grandchildren. Hello, Elder Lu. The young man and woman greeted him simultaneously with a smile. Elder Lu nodded in response. All right, Elder Lu, enough small talk for now. The elderly man started leading his grandchildren up the mountain. I'm going to die from laughter. How could someone with looks like her show herself in public without any shame? What an eyesore. A young woman snorted behind the elderly man. There's seriously all kinds of peculiarities in this world. What kind of place does she think Scarlet Flames Academy is? How can some random nobody have the guts to come and enroll? And she even wants to become a student at Scarlet Flames Academy? How preposterous. The young man also sneered. Chapter 1584. The two people didn't speak loudly, but Yi Wan and Elder Lu could hear them clearly from behind them. Elder Lu turned to Yi Wan with a frown. Presumptuous, they're seriously too insolent. How dare they treat you like this? Yi Wan merely smiled without a care. Right now, she didn't come to enroll in Scarlet Flames Academy as the president of the Fearless Alliance. She was just a normal person, so she didn't need to worry about those people's words. Let's go, Yi Wan suggested quietly. All right, Elder Lu nodded. Since the president herself didn't say anything, he naturally wouldn't comment further. The flood of young men and women coming to Scarlet Flames Academy to enroll continued to gush into the mountain in increasing amounts. Scarlet Flames Academy had very strict student recruitment standards. Amongst these thousands of youths who came to enroll, only a handful would end up being chosen by the academy. The status and reputation of mercenaries were extremely high in the independent state, but the type of mercenary academy they graduated from was still important. The independent state had countless mercenary academies, but only the three great academies, e.g. Scarlet Flames, had the most worth. Yi Wan was rather curious about the mercenary system, but her main objective for coming to Scarlet Flames Academy this time was to approach its headmaster and hope the headmaster could help her. Aside from seeing if she could recover her memory, Yi Wan had no other wishes. About an hour and a half later, Yi Wan and Elder Lu reached the top of the mountain. The peak was home to Scarlet Flames Academy's headquarters. As far as the eye could see, vast and imposing were the only descriptions its visitors could conjure up. However, ahead of them, Scarlet Flames Academy's grand, towering gates were tightly shut. There were dozens of elders and higher-ups of patrician families with their groups behind them waiting in front of the gates. Yi Wan and Elder Lu soon joined the crowd. Amongst the crowd, Yi Wan and Elder Lu appeared a bit peculiar. Yi Wan's ugly, heavy makeup was especially eye-catching. Does anyone and everyone seriously dare to come to Scarlet Flames Academy nowadays? A beautiful woman glanced at Yi Wan and snorted. Yi Wan furrowed her brows. Was her ugliness that fresh and unconventional? Or was she carrying a hatred-attracting halo and everybody was compelled to ridicule her? If she had known earlier, she would have just transformed into a man. Scarlet Flames Academy isn't a place someone like you can enter. Roll back to wherever you came from, and don't sully Scarlet Flames Academy's doors, the beautiful woman coldly said to Yi Wan. Insolence. Elder Lu grew furious immediately. Girl, do you know this is? Yi Wan lightly shook her head at Elder Lu before he could finish speaking. Her identity as the president of the Fearless Alliance absolutely couldn't be divulged unless it was a last resort. Otherwise, if Scarlet Flames Academy discovered she was the president of the Fearless Alliance, it would be useless even if she had recommendation letters from Ishuehan or the president of the Martial Arts Union, let alone Ji Shiran. The three great mercenary academies often used the Fearless Alliance as a negative example in lessons for their students. They had completely demonized by Foam as though she was the queen of devils in the independent state and attached extremely nefarious and evil labels to her. What? Know what about this little delinquent? The beautiful woman glanced at Elder Lou and snorted. Before the woman could finish speaking, a man in a black suit standing behind the woman coldly interjected, "Don't argue with other people." Chapter 1585, Young Master. What right does someone like her have to enter the Mercenary Academy? When you become a student here in the future, how could you be classmates with someone like her? The woman quietly protested. The man expressionlessly glanced at the woman. So you think just anyone can pass Scarlet Flame's Academy's severe examination? Of course not. Even you weren't accepted by Scarlet Flame's Academy last year, young master. The woman hastily replied. Even young Master Wong was rejected by Scarlet Flame's Academy last year. So how could a delinquent like her get in? What kind of place is Scarlet Flame's Academy? One of the holy sites of mercenaries. Thousands of people come here to undergo the examination each year. But how many are actually chosen? A rotund man inputted with a snicker. The beautiful woman immediately looked at Yi Wanwan with disgust. No status, no background, but a delinquent like you delusionally wants to enter Scarlet Flame's Academy? What a joke. However, coming to Scarlet Flame's Academy to have your eyes opened should be enough for you to brag about for the rest of your life. Yuan shook her head inwardly. Was this woman an idiot? Why was she acting like a rabid dog? For someone like her, Yuan couldn't even muster a tinge of desire to respond to her, let alone argue with her. Strange, why are Scarlet Flame's Academy's gates closed? At this moment, more young men and women arrived at the peak and were shocked by the sight of the closed Scarlet Flame's Academy. A lot of people who came to take the exam entered already, so why did we get barred outside? Did we miss the time slot? So people looked anxious. President, wait here a moment. I'll go and ask. Elder Lu respectfully said to Yuan. Sure. Yuan nodded. Elder Lu swiftly walked toward the academy. Registration for this year has concluded already. Come back next year. A plainly dressed middle-aged man aloofly said as he walked out from the academy when he saw Elder Lu looking around in front of the gates. It's done. Everyone was taken back. That's right. The middle-aged man said, Scarlet Flame's Academy's recruitment has a time limit every year, and you've missed the time slot already. If you want to register, come back next year. How could that be? The beautiful woman from earlier marched forward. Our young master is the eldest young master of the Wong family. You must allow our young master to enter. The middle-aged man from Scarlet Flame's Academy glanced at the woman detachedly. Are you joking with me? Don't be rude. The man, the aforementioned eldest young master, hastily walked forward and admonished the beautiful woman. Young Master Wong turned to the middle-aged man. I've come 2 years in a row already. Could you show some leniency and give me an opportunity to enter and register? Come back next year. The middle-aged man's face chilled a tad. Did this man and woman fail to understand human speech? The man frowned deeply but didn't dare to say anything else. Young master, forget it. Since Scarlet Flame's Academy is so unreasonable, let's go to another mercenary academy. It's not like they're the only academy. It's their loss for rejecting you, young master. The woman coldly shouted. Don't talk nonsense. The man glanced at the woman. Many young men and women, who were turned away outside the door because they were late, immediately turned to look at young Master Wong and his maidservant. Chapter 1586, this young Master Wong's maidservant was rather brassy, willing to talk back to someone from Scarlet Flame's Academy. Elder Lu hastily went up and smiled at the middle-aged man. Can you be a little flexible? My granddaughter traveled from afar and suffered a difficult journey to come up here. You missed the time, so you have to wait until next year, the middle-aged man said. But my granddaughter is super strong. Scarlet Flame's Academy would obtain a treasure if you accepted her. Elder Lu ardently pressed. What a joke. She's the president of the Fearless Alliance. Scarlet Flame's Academy really won't accept someone like her? just because she didn't make in time? When Elder Lu said that, a lot of the people around them broke into laughter. This elderly man is rather confident. Where did he get his courage? Even young Master Wang was rejected because he missed the time, let alone someone without status or background like her. Haha, elderly man, do you really know what kind of place Scarlet Flames Academy is? It's a holy site for mercenaries. A place where you need to kill people or get killed. It's not a school for learning normal subjects. Did you bring your granddaughter to the wrong place, elderly man? I think both this old man and his granddaughter are ignorant. They most likely thought Scarlet Flames Academy was a normal school. Old geezer. Mercenary academies are where you issue assassinations or dangerous missions. Get straight first. Even someone on young Master Wang's level could only consider themselves unlucky for missing the time, let alone your granddaughter. The beautiful woman contemptuously glanced at Yi Wan and Elder Lu. Take a look at yourself first. Even our young master can't enter. Yet you want to enter? You're trash at the bottom of the food chain. Yi Wan didn't even look at the woman and walked straight toward the middle-aged man from Scarlet Flames Academy. Hello, Yi Wan softly greeted. No matter what you say, it's futile. The middle-aged man returned impatiently. It's okay. Yi Wan took out Ji Shiran's recommendation letter and handed it to him. The middle-aged man furrowed his brows. What? You want to bribe me? Well, it's not quite a bribe. How about you take a look first? Maybe you'll let me enter after you see it. Yi Wan replied with a smile. She didn't know whether Ji Shiran's recommendation letter would prove useful, but she was just making a Hail Mary effort. The best scenario would be being allowed entry. If she wasn't, she would just have to return home. Soon, the middle-aged man opened the recommendation letter. A few breaths later, his expression abruptly changed. Shock surfaced in his eyes. This was a recommendation letter from Emperor Ji. Emperor Ji's personal seal was sitting at the bottom, so there couldn't be any mistake about it. This horrendously ugly woman in front of him was actually personally recommended by Emperor Ji. Furthermore, based on the letter's contents, Emperor Ji attached great importance to her. There were many instructors, even higher-ups, in Scarlet Flames Academy who had an immensely close relationship with Emperor Ji in the profit chain. Since Emperor Ji personally recommended her, it would be difficult to not do her this favor. A misunderstanding, a misunderstanding. The middle-aged man clapped Yi Wan on her left shoulder. Miss, come. You and your grandpa can follow me inside. The sneer on every spectator's face froze, and disbelief rushed out. Thank you. This won't affect Scarlet Flames Academy's rules, right? Yi Wan asked as she nodded. Chapter 1587. No. How could it affect Scarlet Flames Academy's rules? Rules are dead, but people are alive, the middle-aged man said. Elder Lu beamed. Bro Flat Top is truly worthy of being our president. What's Scarlet Flames Academy? They still have to give her face. Under everyone's stunned gazes, the middle-aged man personally opened the gates for Yi Wan and allowed Yi Wan and Elder Lu inside. Why is she allowed to enter? The beautiful woman screamed angrily at the middle-aged man as she watched Yi Wan enter the academy. What? Do you have an objection? The middle-aged man coldly asked. Of course I do. Why did you allow trash like her to enter, but not my young master? The woman scoffed. The middle-aged man glanced at the woman. Miss, I reckon even your young master can't compare to a toe on that miss, let alone you. Can't compare to a toe of that woman? He's joking, right? Young master, this guard must have accepted a bribe from that bottom-tier trash, the woman indignantly complained to young Master Wang. Everyone looked pensive upon hearing that, almost believing her. That'd be the only way this would make sense, right? Otherwise, why was that woman allowed to enter? Insolence. A chilly glint flashed in the middle-aged man's eyes, and he took out his work ID card from his pocket. When everyone saw the ID card, shock overcame their faces. Damn, an instructor from Scarlet Flames Academy. An instructor from Scarlet Flames Academy would accept bribes? What kind of joke is that? Who is capable of bribing an instructor? My God, just who is that ugly woman? She looks mediocre and ordinary. Could the Scarlet Flames instructor really be right? Even young Master Wang can't compare to a toe on that woman. That's too absurd, right? Eh. Anyone with a mind can see that woman's identity must be special in order to force an instructor from Scarlet Flames Academy to allow her inside to register, even if he had to break his own rules. Where did young Master Wang's maidservant get the courage to provoke her? She seriously wouldn't even know how she died. Damn, that servant girl's words were so horrible earlier, but she didn't even look at her. Thinking about it now, that woman wasn't afraid of the Wang family, right? She completely ignored them. The difference in their levels was probably too dramatic, so that woman couldn't be bothered to pay attention to them. The beautiful woman's face was so dark that ink could drip from it as she maliciously exclaimed, "She's just bottom-tier trash. What status could she possibly have?" The instructor of Scarlet Flames Academy looked at the woman. "Miss, you have to have some manners and education, even as a maidservant. Your head is full of air. Don't let your ignorance harm you and young Master Wang. I reckon you nearly caused the Wang family's destruction today. Your entire Wang family is less than a dog's fart in the eyes of that woman you keep calling ugly. You should thank the heavens that she treated you like air." Then the instructor snorted and opened the gates again before languidly entering. With a bang, the gates were closed again. How was that possible? The woman was akin to a deflated balloon. Tut, tut, tut. That ugly woman must be some fearsome big shot. I've only seen a dog growl at a lion, but I've never seen a lion growl at a dog. That saying is perfect for this. Chapter 1588. 1588. Ha ha ha, young Master Wang. This maidservant must have served you quite well. Huh, since you brought her to this kind of place? However, you need to assess the situation first. Your Wang family will encounter a tragic fate if you offend someone you can't afford to offend. Young Master. The woman turned to young Master Wang, wanting to say something, but was greeted by a ruthless backhand from him. Young Master Wang's expression was dark. Just who in the world was that woman just now? Could she really bring catastrophe to the Wang family? Yi Wanwan and Elder Lu entered Scarlet Flames Academy. There were some differences between the academy and universities in China. The atmosphere was more intense. 1,000 or so young men and women who came to register were standing in the courtyard. Yi Wanwan followed the instructor into the crowd. These 1,000 or so people were separated into 10 groups that contained about 100 people. Each group headed toward different directions. Due to arriving with an instructor from Scarlet Flames, Yi Wanwan was placed into the first group. Soon, while following the lead of the Scarlet Flames instructor, Yi Wanwan and her group arrived at a large plaza. Most of the people in the first group were the children of prestigious patrician families in the independent state and knew each other to a certain extent. "Look," someone shouted, causing everyone to reflexively look behind them. A tall and slender young woman with good looks was slowly walking toward them. Meng Ku, the pearl of the Meng family's patriarch. The Meng family. Damn, that's some background. I heard Meng Ku was a martial arts genius and successfully finished a mission that was comparable to an A-level mission before becoming a mercenary. Meng Ku joined the group and nodded slightly at the Scarlet Flames instructor. Yi Wanwan surveyed her surroundings. It had to be said that Scarlet Flames Academy lived up to its name. Many of the people registering came from reputable backgrounds and were supposedly very talented too. Haha, Elder Lu, you seriously didn't give up and really brought your granddaughter here? Before Yi Wanwan could think anymore, the elder who ridiculed Elder Lu earlier sauntered toward them with his 2 grandchildren behind him. Elder Lu impatiently glanced at the elder, disinclined to waste his words. He didn't know what this old man was flaunting about. Elder Lu secretly snorted. If this old man knew his granddaughter was the president of the Fearless Alliance, would he still act so cocky? Quite a number of young men had surrounded Meng Ku already, acting like perfect flower guardians. "Silence," the Scarlet Flames instructor said as he walked to the front. "There are many seats in the plaza. Find a place to sit." Everyone, including Meng Ku, located a seat and sat down. Soon, they all receive an exam. This was the most basic exam. If they failed the exam, they would be evicted from Scarlet Flames Academy immediately. Yuan was bewildered as she stared at the contents of the exam. In the eyes of mercenaries, every faction was ranked, including the ancient clans for great clans, the fearless alliance, etc. Aside from accurately labeling each faction's rank, there was also a lot of details about mercenary missions. I don't understand anything. Yuan involuntarily face-palmed. She didn't do her homework. You don't need to take it. Follow me. The Scarlet Flames Academy instructor walked to Yuan's side and took Yuan and Elder Lu out of the plaza. Chapter 1589. A moment later, Yuan and Elder Lu arrived at the registration spot for Scarlet Flames Academy. What's your name? An elderly man asked Yuan. Yuan thought for a moment and replied, Yuan, and you? The elderly man turned to Elder Lu. Lu Ducheng. Elder Lu answered with a smile. She's your granddaughter? The elderly man was surprised. Yes, she's my granddaughter. Elder Lu nodded. Your name is Lu Ducheng and her name is Yuan. But she's your granddaughter? The elderly man frowned. This child's father died when she was young, and her mother remarried, so her surname changed to Yi like her mother's. Elder Lu lied without blinking an eye. All right. The elderly man had no choice but to accept this explanation. Yuan, since you were personally recommended by Emperor Ji, you don't need to participate in the examination. You'll be a new student of Scarlet Flames Academy and a D-ranked mercenary. This is your uniform and mercenary ID. The elderly man handed the items to Yuan. Thank you. Yuan smiled. It had to be said that Ji Shiran's reputation was rather useful. Have the instructor lead you to your dorm room. Also, we've registered your family now, so your grandfather can leave, the elderly man instructed. After sending Elder Lu off, Yuan followed the Scarlet Flames instructor to her dorm room. Haha, Yuan, what's your relationship with Emperor Ji? The Scarlet Flames instructor asked on their way there. We're friends, Yuan answered. And, if you have time, help me do some referrals. I have a few good trades on my hand that Emperor Ji might be interested in. You know how us low-ranked instructors have a low income, the instructor said with a chuckle. And I'll definitely refer you when I have a chance next time, instructor. As they conversed, they passed by the mansion quarters. Aren't these living conditions too good? Yuan was surprised. Did all Scarlet Flames Academy students live in mansions? That's right. We're one of the 3 great mercenary academies. After all, the instructor replied. Which mansion do I live in then? Yuan was inexplicably expectant. Your ranking isn't high enough yet. These are all for mercenary students at a rank or above, the instructor said with a smile. I got happy for nothing. Soon, the instructor led Yuan to the dormitory quarters. They entered a shabby room with a simple and crude interior and 10 to 20 beds. Pick whichever bed you want, the instructor said. Us new students live here. Yuan was shocked. She freaking wanted to live in the mansion quarters. Even if her rank wasn't high enough, couldn't she at least have a single room? Not new students. It's the D-rank mercenaries who all live in this type of dormitory. Your dormitory is quite decent already. At least you have an electric fan. Yuan had no choice but to randomly choose a bed and place her luggage on it. Wait, why are there men's shoes here? Yuan shouted. Oh, that's normal. Bunkhouses are all mixed gender living. The instructor answered matter-of-factly. Mixed gender living. Isn't this too unsafe and inconvenient? Yuan frowned deeply. The instructor examined Yuan for a moment before chuckling. Actually, you're rather safe. What I mean is that all mercenary academies are like this. Absolutely no accidents will happen. Your missions in the future will be more arduous. This is nothing. You should get used to it. Chapter 1590. Yuan swore to the lamp that she'd immediately, this instant, become a high-ranking mercenary and live in big mansions and villas. Yuan, this is only temporary. You were personally recommended by Emperor Ji, so I believe it's only a matter of time before you become a high-ranking mercenary with your strength. At that time, you can live in a mansion, and high-level mercenaries like S-rank are also assigned a steward, servants, and training partner, along with a mansion, the instructor said enigmatically. I'm going to become an S-rank mercenary. How do I become a high-ranked mercenary? By finishing mercenary missions. Scarlet Flames Academy has a mission posting spot that issues missions from SS rank to D rank, and the higher the rank of the mission you finish and the more missions you finish, the faster you raise your rank, the instructor explained. The instructor didn't wait for her to respond and continued. You should familiarize yourself with your surroundings first. I'll take my leave now. You can come find me in the instructor's office if you have any questions. Then the instructor left. Yuan didn't linger either and exited the room. Yuan saw a lot of young men and women with different colored uniforms as she walked through campus. Yuan was a D-rank mercenary, so she was wearing a gray student uniform. S-rank mercenaries wore gold, A ranks wore black, B ranks wore white, C ranks wore yellow, while D ranks like Yuan wore gray. Yuan couldn't help but sigh at the distinct hierarchy inside mercenary academies. It was like a pyramid, and you had to use your strength to trade for anything you wanted to obtain. It was the most primitive rule in practice. However, Yuan still hadn't seen a single student wearing a gold uniform and only saw one A-rank mercenary. Soon, she arrived at the mission issuance area. There was a sea of people composed of mostly yellow-uniformed C-rank mercenaries and D-rank mercenaries, with only a few mercenaries higher than C-rank. No one sent any odd looks at Yuan's ugly appearance. "Junior sister, are you new here?" While Yuan felt a bit lost, a gentle-sounding youth asked her with a smile. The youth wore a yellow uniform, which meant he was a C-rank mercenary. "Yeah," Yuan replied. "All right, junior sister. I'm Han Yun. Let me introduce this place to you. We're at the missions area, where there are mercenary missions from SS rank to D rank. D rank missions are fairly simple, while missions above D rank have a risk of losing your life if you fail. I suggest you start with a D rank mission to get used to things, junior sister," the youth, Han Yun, said. "Thank you. I understand." Yuan smiled gratefully at Han Yun. Then she turned to examine the mission board. SS rank mission. Destroy the Fearless Alliance and obtain 10,000 mercenary honor points. S+ rank mission. Escort a token and obtain 7,000 mercenary honor points. A rank mission. Head to China and destroy the defected mercenary group. Obtain 5,000 mercenary honor points. S rank mission. Obtain a personal ring belonging to Emperor Ji and obtain 10,000 mercenary honor points. S rank mission. Obtain a strand of hair from Lord Azura and obtain 10,000 mercenary honor points. Yuan was dazed by the missions posted on the bulletin board and felt a little dizzy. What the heck were the missions requiring you to obtain Emperor Ji's ring and Lord Azura's hair about? How could they be S-rank missions and cause you to lose your life? Would they believe she could obtain those any time she wanted? Yuan was extremely curious about who issued a mission as strange as obtaining a strand of Lord Azura's hair and why it still wasn't revoked yet. Chapter 1591. Yuan laughed as soon as she kept looking down. A. Defeat Big Dipper from the Fearless Alliance. Need video for proof. A. Defeat 7-star from the Fearless Alliance. Need video for proof. A. Defeat an elite member of the Fearless Alliance. Need video for proof. S. Steal something special from the Fearless Alliance's headquarters. S. Teach a lesson to any elder from the Fearless Alliance. Yuan couldn't stop laughing. These were the supposedly extremely dangerous missions. Junior sister, Han Yun frowned. Don't tell me you're interested in A rank and even S rank missions. Kind of. Yuan smiled. Quite a few gazes from nearby students shot toward them when they overheard Yuan and Han Yun's conversation. A junior sister who just entered Scarlet Flames Academy actually said she was interested in S rank and A rank missions. Even if she wanted to die, she shouldn't do that. Even if A rank mercenaries accepted A rank missions, they still had an extremely high chance of failing and needed to operate in a team. S-rank missions probably needed a fully fleshed team. You needed to have a strategy on top of your martial arts skills, so it was nearly impossible to accomplish those by yourself. Junior, you should understand the concept of S-rank and A-rank before deciding. Don't be in a rush to die, a man said to Yi Wanwan expressionlessly. Yi Wanwan didn't mind the man's seemingly rude words since she was currently only a D-rank mercenary, so this man was probably advising her out of kindness. Yi Wanwan glanced at the other S-rank and A-rank missions. Those were the true, suicidal ones she didn't dare to accept, but the ones like beating Big Dipper, they were practically missions tailored for her, all right. Aside from that, the mission in China suited her a lot too. Yi Wanwan happened to want to find a chance to return to China after enrolling in Scarlet Flames Academy. If she accepted a mission to destroy the defected mercenaries in China, she'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone. However, she couldn't easily accept it until she figured out the number and rank of the defected mercenaries. Junior sister, you should look at the D-rank missions first. Those high-ranking missions are seriously really dangerous. Even formidable senior brothers who form teams to accomplish them might end up totally annihilated. Han Yin cautioned her again. New students were usually ignorant, so it wasn't their first time encountering this type of situation. There were arrogant new students every year who thought they were invincible in the world and accepted some extremely dangerous missions. There was once a D-rank mercenary who accepted a SSS rank mission, and then there was no more, and then that D-rank mercenary never returned. No worries, senior brother. I know myself, Yuan once said. All right. Also, if you plan to start accepting missions, junior sister, you can tell me. I can accompany you on some, so that they're safer. Han Yin smiled. Yuan couldn't help but take a few more looks at the youth. This youth was quite considerate and compassionate. A moment later, she turned back to the mission board. There were quite a few S-rank and A-rank missions she could accept and accomplish for sure. As for the A-rank mission in China, she would accept it if possible since she needed to return to China soon. Before Yuan could ponder about it anymore, the instructor from earlier appeared next to her. Why are you here? The new student's examination is finished, and they need to be assigned classes. Follow me, the instructor said to Yuan. Chapter 1592. Yuan nodded. She had no choice but to leave the mission post for now. Yuan followed the instructor to a hall. There was an elderly man in brocade robes standing inside the hall. Elder Gong, this is Yuan. The instructor introduced her to the elderly man with a smile. The elderly man, Elder Gong, aloofly surveyed Yuan and nodded. You're the one recommended by Emperor Ji Shiran, Elder Gong stated. Yes, Yuan nodded and answered honestly. I have a friendship with Ji Shiran. Since you were personally recommended by Ji Shiran, I'll accept you as a disciple in name, Elder Gong said indifferently. Haha. Elder Gong is one of the 4 elders at Scarlet Flames Academy, Yuan. The fact that you can become Elder Gong's disciple in name, it's really, the instructor marveled. Yuan, what's going on? Disciple in name? But I didn't say I wanted to become his disciple. Why did I randomly get accepted as someone's disciple? Yuan naturally knew the implications of being a disciple in name. It wasn't official and was solely in name. I hope you could train hard from now on and won't disgrace me. Elder Gong sighed and waved his hand, instructing the Scarlet Flames instructor to escort Yuan out. Yuan remained baffled after leaving the hall. Yuan, you should be thankful that you were recommended by Emperor Ji and that Elder Gong was friends with Emperor Ji some years ago. You just entered Scarlet Flames Academy, but are able to place your name under Elder Gong already. This is truly rare. Some of Elder Gong's personal disciples are mercenaries at S rank or higher. The instructor quietly said to Yuan. Yuan, I didn't want to become his disciple. I didn't do anything. However, Elder Gong is an aloof and proud person. Although he's one of the 4 elders, his personal disciples have always been suppressed by another elder's disciples, the instructor added. That's a pity. Yuan nodded. An elderly man at his age and status mostly focused his energy on his personal disciples, so he definitely wouldn't feel good that his disciples were being suppressed by another person's disciples. But what did this have to do with her? Elder Gong once had a disciple who was a famous character and once created many records at Scarlet Flames Academy, but they disappeared afterward. Elder Gong has been searching for his missing disciple all these years, but still hasn't found them, the instructor sighed. Is that awesome? Yuan was curious. Why are you asking so many questions? You just enrolled. You'll definitely find out later on, the instructor said. After some walking, Yuan and the Scarlet Flames Academy instructor entered a classroom in the corner of the academy. This classroom was the D-rank mercenary class, and the place for D-rank mercenaries to learn basic mercenary knowledge. You'll be in this class from now on. I need to inform you, though, you might have been recommended by Emperor G, but you still have to abide by the rules at Scarlet Flames Academy. Don't cause trouble, especially since you're a new student, or else even Emperor G and Elder Gong can't save you, the instructor warned before leaving without looking back. Yuan stared after him for a moment before looking away and ambling into the D-rank mercenary classroom. As soon as Yuan entered the classroom, she discovered more than 100 people inside who were all sitting in their own seats and a middle-aged person on the podium, who was probably this class instructor. Chapter 1593. When Yuan entered the classroom, the middle-aged man at the podium instantly turned to her. You just enrolled. Why are you late already? The middle-aged man frowned. Remember to be on time next time. Yes. Yuan could only nod and agree. The middle-aged man immediately had her sit in her designated seat. The middle-aged man's lessons were merely about the division of factions in the independent state, the dangers of differently ranked missions, and the use of mercenary honor points. Every time you finished a mission, you would obtain mercenary honor points, which could help raise your mercenary rank on top of other uses. Yuan listened carefully. She had been in the independent state for a long time, but she hadn't heard about the strict ranking hierarchy there until coming to Scarlet Flames Academy. For example, if the Fearless Alliance was ranked by stars, it would be a 5-star faction, while Emperor G and Azura would be considered 6-star factions. As for the ancient clans and the martial arts union, they could perhaps be elevated to 7 stars. After the lesson concluded, Yuan returned to her dormitory. A moment later, many strange men and women poured into the room like a tidal wave. Yuan glanced at them. There were about 12 people, half male and half female. Shit, that scared the hell out of me, one of the young men exclaimed in shock after seeing Yuan on her bed. Junior sister, isn't your heavy makeup too frightening? The other D-rank mercenaries questioned. Yuan smiled faintly, but didn't reply. There was only one old mercenary student in this dorm room, and the rest were new students. Yuan listened to everyone's introductions. Most of them were children from the independent state's patrician families. Junior sister, what's your name? The man named Li Xin asked Yuan. Yuan answered truthfully. Yuan, isn't your grandpa's surname Lu? The man and woman in the neighboring bed looked perplexed. This duo were no strangers. Their grandfather was the elder who made cutting remarks toward Elder Lu earlier that day. The older brother was Zhou Tao, and the younger sister was Zhou Fu. My mom's surname is Yi, Yuan replied. Yuan, I remember your grandfather is a member of the Fearless Alliance, right? The Fearless Alliance isn't anything good. You should advise your grandfather to leave the Fearless Alliance ASAP, Zhou Tao said. Brother, her grandfather is so old. He'd probably starve to death if he left the Fearless Alliance, and he still has such an ugly granddaughter to raise. Zhou Fu snorted. Before Yuan could speak, Li Xin furrowed his brows. Aren't you too freaking rude? What the hell does her looks have to do with you? Do you think you're good-looking? Where does your superiority come from? Ugly woman. What did you say? Zhou Fu was enraged instantly and glared at Li Xin. What? You want to hit me? My older brother is a C-rank mercenary at this school. Why don't you and your brother try hitting me? Come. Hit me on the head. Do I need to find a brick for you? Li Xin was radiating arrogance. Forget it. Ignore this kind of person, Zhou Tao interjected with a furrow of his brows. Zhou Fu harshly glared at Li Xin, but didn't say anything more. A C-rank mercenary wasn't someone they could afford to offend right now. Enough arguing. We're living with each other from now on, and might have to leave our lives in each other's protection one day. What's there to argue about? admonished the only senior mercenary in the dorm room. Following his scolding, everyone else stayed silent. Chapter 1594. 1594, Senior Brother, you've been at Scarlet Flames Academy for 2 years now. Why are you still a D-rank mercenary? Li Xin asked inquisitively. The man shook his head and sighed. The missions are too difficult and hard to do. I can't trudge my way up. What's difficult about them? I've been at Scarlet Flames for 3 months now and have finished 4 D-rank missions already. One of the D-rank missions was freaking dangerous. I had to assassinate a son from a patrician family and nearly didn't make it back. Thank goodness I ran fast, Li Xin bragged. D-rank mission? A beautiful woman snorted. That's nothing. I accepted a S-rank mission 2 months ago. Everyone, including Yi Wanwan, turned to the woman. And then, Yi Wanwan was brimming with curiosity. And then, the woman smiled at Yi Wanwan with a tinge of embarrassment. And then I gave up. Yi Wanwan, are you joking with us? If you really finished a S-rank mission, you probably wouldn't be living here with us right now. Li Xin shook his head. Then he mysteriously asked everyone, have you seen the SS rank mission on the mission board yet? I saw it. It's eradicating the Fearless Alliance. What universal joke is that? Who is the Fearless Alliance? Their danger rating is 10 points, and Bro Flat Top is a demoness in the independent state. I heard she eats people. Exactly. Last time, the boss of Ironhead Gang went to seek revenge from President Fearless. And guess what happened? His 2 arms and 3 legs were all broken by her. I heard she even ate his brain. President Fearless is simply a pervert who's freaking strong. I heard only piece of shit can suppress her in the entire independent state. Yi Wanwan. She finally saw the power of rumors for herself. How did she freaking turn into this kind of pervert who even ate the brain of the Ironhead Gang's boss? She freaking released him, okay? That's nothing. Some time ago, a super awesome senior brother accepted a SS rank mission to assassinate the president of the Martial Arts Union. Guess what happened? Never mind, don't bother. That president looks like he's only in his 20s and has a bewitching face, but he killed that senior brother in a few strikes. I was nearby and saw it myself. It scared me to death. Li Xin exclaimed. The Martial Arts Union's president? What does he look like? Something like, let me draw him for you guys. Li Xin took out a pen and paper and started drawing on the piece of paper. Everyone promptly evaluated the product upon finishing. This is Yi Wanwan's brows furrowed as she stared at the portrait. The man in the portrait looked too similar to someone she knew. However, Yi Wanwan couldn't recall who it was for the time being. It was a pity that Li Xion's art skills were truly mediocre. Do you know? The major factions in the independent state are too messy. When Worryless Nye from a Nye family went missing, she supposedly ran off to China with some wild man. Later, someone from the Nye family secretly sent assassins to China to kill her. Li Xian said, keep bragging. If something this major was real, all of the independent state would have known about it by now. How would you know? A new mercenary snorted. Bragging your grandma's ass. One of the assassins is a sworn brother of mine. He told me himself. He also said that woman seems to have lost her memories and can't remember who she is at all. She also got together with some wild man. Anyway, that's what happened. Li Xian exclaimed indignantly. Haha, keep bullshitting. Worryless Nye returned a long time ago, and she's back with the Nye family right now. That sworn brother of yours is probably nothing but gas and hot air too. Forget it if you don't believe it then. Li Xian found this conversation dull and didn't want to keep wasting his words. Li Xian's words sent shock shooting through Yi Wanwan though. Chapter 1595. Yi Wanwan pensively looked at Li Xian with a furrow of her brows. Li Xian said Worryless Nye appeared in China after her disappearance, and someone from the Nye family sent assassins with the intention of eradicating her at the root. Typically speaking, you should take this kind of matter with a grain of salt, but Yi Wanwan was intrigued. Li Xian, your sworn brother is an assassin? Yi Wanwan nonchalantly asked him with a smile on her lips. Li Xian became eager upon hearing her interest and quickly turned to Yuan. Yeah, I'm telling you, my brother graduated from Scarlet Flames Academy. He's awesome. But wait, Worryless Nya is in the independent state right now. So why are you saying Worryless Nya was in China and was hunted by mercenaries? Yuan asked. I don't know. That's what my brother said. It happened a long time ago, so maybe Worryless Nya returned from China. Who knows? Li Xian answered. Isn't Worryless Nya the pride of Scarlet Flames Academy? Your brother would dare to hunt Worryless Nya down despite her martial arts skills? Yuan looked skeptical. Didn't I mention it earlier? Worryless Nya probably lost her memory. Anyway, that's the truth about her martial arts skills, but she had to rely on someone else to save her. If it weren't for someone saving her, she would have croaked her last breath already. Li Xian pursed his lips. A round of mocking laughter rang in the room again after Li Xian spoke. Li family, I think both you and your brother are nothing but gas and hot air. Worryless Nya is the second miss of the Nya family. They would be scrambling to look for her, so why would they send someone to kill her? Right. At the very least, even if someone from the Nya family harbored ulterior motives and hired your brother, why would they tell your brother the real identity of the target? Were they an idiot? Li Xian's face swiveled from ashen and livid. He sounded a bit angry as he impatiently shouted, Shoo. Who's my brother? Why would he lie to me? You're just ignorant, so get lost if you don't believe me. I don't want to tell you anyway. I know more secrets than you can imagine. Haha, Li Xian keep bragging. What other news do you have? Tell us. Fine. Li Xian mysteriously looked at them. You know how Lord Azura, Emperor Ji, and Bro Flat Top are in the independent state? Nonsense. Who doesn't know them? Zhou Fu chortled. I'm telling you, Emperor Ji and Lord Azura are actually a couple. Those two are lovers, and the one who was their matchmaker was President Fearless, Bro Flat Top, Li Xian said. Another round of guffaws spread through the room. Fucking Big Dipper. He spread everything on the outside. Even a mercenary student knows about it now. Fine. Forget it if you don't believe it. Don't talk to me next time. I don't want to talk to you. Li Xian flicked his hand and turned around, lying on the bed before covering his head with his comforter. Yuan's mind was in turmoil. The amount of information Li Xian dumped on her was colossal. She needed to find a chance to examine it all. The next morning, everyone woke up early. After making up their beds, they all headed to the D-rank mercenary classroom. Yuan originally wanted to find Li Xian and question him further about yesterday's information, but he was extremely fast and disappeared to the classroom in the blink of an eye. Chapter 1596. Yuan was forced to follow him. Li Xian, Yuan called out. Li Xian turned around and looked at her. What? Come sit next to me. Yuan smiled at him. To her surprise, this smile caused Li Xian to shiver and vehemently shake his head. Hurry, come here. No one is sitting here. Yuan pressed. No. It's fine, junior sister. I'm fine where I am, Li Xian replied. I want to ask you something. Yuan furrowed her brows. Junior sister, what could you possibly need to ask me? You can't possibly like me, right? Junior sister, I have someone I like, and my child can call me dad already, Li Xian hurriedly said. Yuan. Before Yuan could say anything more, an instructor entered the classroom. Today is the second day for many of our new students. I need to tell everyone some rules for the low-ranking mercenaries at Scarlet Flames Academy. The instructor swept his eyes over the classroom. D-rank mercenaries are issued 3 missions every month, but the rank of the mission doesn't have any restrictions. If you don't finish 3 missions, you will be expelled by Scarlet Flames Academy. Compulsive missions. Yuan looked pensive. Compulsive missions were directly issued to a person by the Academy, and the person had to finish them and couldn't decline them. If they didn't finish them within the required time, it would be considered a failure. However, if they failed twice in a row or they purposefully didn't try to finish them, they'd be expelled from Scarlet Flames Academy. Your mission will be issued sometime soon, so make the necessary preparations, the instructor continued expressionlessly. About half an hour later, the Scarlet Flames instructor turned and left. Yuan stood up and marched toward Li Xian, grabbing his shoulder from behind. Why are you running? Why are you chasing me? Li Xian retorted. If you didn't run, why would I chase you? Yuan frowned deeply. If you didn't chase me, why would I run? Li Xian argued righteously. Fine, you win. I need you for respectable business. Yuan dragged Li Xian back to her seat. Junior sister, seriously, don't look for me for respectable business. I'm not anyone respectable. You should find respectable people to do respectable business. Li Xian frantically shook his head. Stop blabbing. I have a mission to issue. Mission? Li Xian was startled, confused by her words. That's right. Yuan nodded with a grin. Didn't you say your brother graduated from Scarlet Flames Academy? Yeah, that's right. Li Xian nodded. Then help me call your brother here. I have a decently priced mission for your brother to do, Yuan said. What mission? What price? Li Xian was instantly interested. Don't ask too many questions. But you'll also get a reward for calling him here. I'll give you this sum. Yuan extended 5 fingers out. 50,000, Li Xian exclaimed. However, Yuan shook her head. 5,000, Li Xian was puzzled. Yuan shook her head again. 500 no can do. I've never seen someone as stingy as you. Go find someone else. Li Xian lost interest immediately and turned to leave. I suddenly miss nameless Nya. Chapter 1597. 1597, Don't Leave. Yuan grabbed Li Xian by his shoulder again. 5,000, 10,000, Li Xian countered. 8,000. Yuan frowned. Fine, 8,000 then. You have to give me 4,000 as down payment first, Li Xian agreed. Yuan had no choice but to transfer 4,000 to him via phone. Wait for my news. Li Xian then left with his phone in hand. Less than 10 minutes later, Li Xian returned and said, My brother agreed. He'll come over later. All right. Yuan smiled. It'd be easy as long as he came. Yuan didn't have a chance to say anything else before 3 people entered the classroom. These 3 people were all wearing yellow uniforms, signifying their statuses as C-rank mercenaries at Scarlet Flames Academy. Everyone was startled by the appearance of C-rank mercenaries. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Zhang Zunyan, a C-rank mercenary and also your senior. The man greeted with a light chuckle as his eyes swept over the room. Zhang Zunyan continued, You're new students, so you need more training. Hence, you'll be doing some of the trivial, menial missions the Academy gave us. Yuan's lips twitched. Aren't they just here to freaking bully new students? What do you mean you'll give them to us? A new student coldly said, They're missions the school gave you, not us. Why should we help you do them? That's right. We have our own missions to do. It's not like you'll pay us to do missions for you. You come here. Zhang Zunyan smiled brightly and hooked his finger at the mercenary, doubting him. What? The new student walked forward. Slap. Zhang Zunyan didn't say anything. With a smile still on his face, he ruthlessly slapped the new student on the face. The crisp sound echoed in the room, and the new student spun in his spot from the force of the slap. You just came to the school, and you're only a new student, but you're already talking back to your seniors? Zhang Zunyan asked with a smile. Blood trickled out of the new student's lips, and he clutched his face but didn't dare to say anything more. Upon seeing no other questioning, Zhang Zunyan and his cohorts nodded with satisfaction. This is how it should be. New students should be afraid of hardship and should do more things within their capabilities and train themselves. This is for your own good. Senior brother is right. My sister and I absolutely agree with you. You should tell us whatever orders you have, senior brother, and we assure you will finish them. Zhou Tao and Zhou Fu walked in front of Zhang Zunyan and nodded cheerfully. Very good. Zhang Zunyan's lips curled up. How about this? You two performed well, so you'll help me monitor these people. You'll come and inform me about anyone who's disobedient and unwilling to do the missions. Understood? Zhou Tao and Zhou Fu became joyful. That's not a mission at all. It's too simple. It looks like Zhang Zunyan is feeling merciful after noticing our compliance. Understood. Don't worry, senior brother Zhang. We'll definitely accomplish our mission. Zhou Tao nodded frantically. As for the rest of you, Zhang Zunyan looked at everyone else and issued a handful of average difficulty rank daily missions. After becoming a C-rank mercenary, you had to finish daily missions every day, and some C-rank mercenaries would toss these missions to D-rank mercenaries. Most D-rank mercenaries wouldn't dare to object and would do as instructed. Chapter 1598. Nobody in the classroom dared to voice their anger, and they were forced to accept it. Senior brother, you haven't given her a mission yet, Zhou Fu said to Zhang Zunyan as he suddenly pointed at Yuan Wan. And I've given out all the missions to them already. Zhang Zunyan pondered over it for a moment before saying to Yuan Wan, Ugly woman, you're lucky. I don't have any mission for you, so you'll help us clean our room for a month. Every corner, including the toilet and the bathroom, needs to be spotless or prepare for the consequences. I'll give you our room address in a moment. After Zhang Zunyan said that, the 3 C-rank mercenaries cheerfully ambled out of the D-rank classroom. Yuan Wan looked like she didn't hear them at all and was uninterested in even looking at them, so she didn't pay attention to what Zhang Zunyan said. Blah, they want me to do missions for them? I have so many brothers protecting me. Do they think I'm easy prey? They should look up who my brother is first. Li Xian sneered with a snort. Zhou Tao and Zhou Fu both didn't dare to provoke Li Xian since he did have a few brothers at Scarlet Flames Academy. Who would dare to monitor him? Listen well. Remember the mission senior brother Zhang just issued, or else you'll pay for the consequences yourself. I'm just reminding you out of kindness, Zhou Tao said while running his eyes over everyone in the room. And you, Yuan Wan, remember to clean their room thoroughly. Even the bathroom has to look brand new. Zhou Fu coldly said to the nonchalant-looking Yuan Wan. Yuan Wan didn't respond, as though she was immersed in her own world. Before Zhou Fu could say anything else, Li Xian's phone started ringing. Li Xian took the call immediately. What? Brother, you're here already? So quickly? Where? Oh, the cafe behind Scarlet Flames Academy. Okay, I know. I'll tell her. Li Xian hung up and turned to Yuan Wan. My brother is here. Yuan Wan stood up instantly and followed Li Xian out of the classroom. A moment later, the duo arrived at a cafe near Scarlet Flames Academy. This cafe was built by eldest young Master Shun near Scarlet Flames Academy, so that he could have a convenient place to drink coffee. The prices were extremely expensive, so it was normally empty. After entering the cafe, Yuan Wan followed Li Xian to a private room. A young man was sitting in the chief seat in the room. Yuan Wan was surprised upon seeing the man. This man was one of Li Xian's older brothers. However, Yuan Wan found this brother very familiar looking. I think he was amongst the group of mysterious people who tried to kill me back in China. Thankfully, she was rescued by that enigmatic white-haired man, or the consequences would have been too horrible to contemplate. You're here. The man looked at Li Xian and Yuan Wan with a smile. Have a seat. Yuan Wan and Li Xian sat down across from the man. Brother, this is my junior sister. She said she has a mission to issue, and it's a good price, so she wanted to talk to you, Li Xian said to the man. The man examined Yuan Wan and aloofly said, Junior sister, my price isn't cheap. Yuan Wan gathered her emotions and smiled faintly. Money isn't a problem. As long as you can finish the mission I give you, you can list whatever price you want. Chapter 1599. Oh, list whatever I want, the man's eyes glinted. The people who entered a mercenary academy either lacked money or did it for fame and status. That wasn't to say that every mercenary did their work to earn money. For example, a money god like eldest young Master Shin was also at Scarlet Flames Academy, and it would be a ridiculous joke if someone claimed eldest young Master Shin acted as a mercenary for money. In other words, the woman in front of him didn't have a simple background. At least, she didn't lack money. All right, then we can start our discussion. Tell me your mission rank first. If it's too high, I might not be able to finish it alone and need to find more people. The aloofness faded from the man's face and was replaced by a faint smile. S rank, Yuan Wan replied. S rank, the man frowned slightly. A S rank mission was too high in difficulty. Tell me the specifics first. Based on the mission's level alone, I can't take on a S rank mission by myself. and you might not be able to pay the price, the man said. I want worryless Nye's head. Yi Wan stared at the man, a bewitching smile turning up on her face. What? The man was stunned. Are you saying you want to kill worryless Nye? Evenly Xin next to her jolted in fright. Kill worryless Nye? She's kidding, right? What? Are you too afraid to do it? Yi Wan pursed her lips. Li Xin was bragging to me about how awesome you are, but it looks like you're not up to scratch. How disappointing. Yi Wan shook her head and stood up, preparing to leave. Upon seeing Yi Wan's departure, the man considered it for a moment before quickly saying, Junior sister, I didn't say I didn't dare to accept it. Yi Wan halted and returned to her seat. So you can accept it then? Junior sister, just who are you? Do you know the price of a S-rank mission? The man chuckled and imperceptibly observed Yi Wan. I remember saying that money isn't a problem, Yi Wan replied. Then why should I believe you? The man asked. Yi Wan looked at Li Xin. Li Xin, leave the room and keep guard for junior sister and me. Don't allow anyone to approach us, the man said. Oh, all right. Li Xin nodded and had no choice but to leave. After Li Xin left, the man turned to Yi Wan. Junior sister, unless you have a proof of identity, I can't accept a S-rank mission. Then, is Bro Flat Top's identity enough? Yi Wan chuckled coolly. Bro Flat Top, the man murmured pensively. What did you say? The man shot up and stared at her in disbelief. This woman is saying she's Bro Flat Top? Which Bro Flat Top? The man reflexively asked. Are there a lot of Bro Flat Tops in the independent state? Yi Wan snorted. You're saying the Fearless Alliance's Bro Flat Top by phone? The man intently stared at her. I'm by phone, Yi Wan confirmed. Why should I believe you when you say you're by phone? Do you know anyone from the Fearless Alliance? Yi Wan asked him. Yes, 7-Star and Big Dipper. I've seen them a few times, the man replied after a moment of thought. Since he knew people, this was easy to resolve. Chapter 1600. 1600 Yi Wan video called Big Dipper immediately. Sis phone, why did you suddenly video call me? How are you doing at Scarlet Flames Academy? Big Dipper was surprised by the sight of Yi Wan. The man slowly walked behind Yi Wan, and his expression changed as soon as he saw Big Dipper on the screen. Nothing, just wanted to see you, Yi Wan responded. Sis phone, when are you coming back? Without you at the Fearless Alliance, First Elder and Third Elder are arguing nonstop every day. Big Dipper asked with irritation. I'll be back soon. See you later then. Yi Wan hung up the video call. After Yi Wan disconnected the call, she turned to the man. So will you accept the mission? You, President Bai, with your esteemed status, why would you hire a mercenary? The man returned to his seat, still in disbelief. What? I can't hire a mercenary? Yi Wan asked with a smile. Of course not. The man shook his head. The Fearless Alliance has many strong members. Of course, there are some things that aren't proper for the Fearless Alliance to do themselves, so they need mercenaries to resolve them on their behalf. Earlier, the Nye family, Yi Wan's eyes sparkled. That was what she wanted to know. However, the man seemed to have sensed something and hastily broke off, not saying anything more. President Bai, please tell me whatever you need, the man smiled. Also, don't worry about the confidentiality. A mercenary's most basic requirement is to keep their employer's information confidential. There's no way we would leak any information, even if that means our death. Yi Wan thoroughly believed in this point. Typically speaking, if a mercenary revealed their employer's information, they wouldn't have a home in the mercenary world anymore. Not only would they wreck their future, but they might also invoke destructive revenge and an attack from their employer. Hence, most mercenaries wouldn't reveal any information about their employers even if they had to die. I said I want worryless Nye's head. As long as you can succeed, money isn't a problem, Yi Wan repeated. I believe that, of course, President Bai. With the Fearless Alliance's finances, the price of a S-rank mission is just an appetizer. The man nodded, but looked a bit hesitant. However, President Bai, this mission isn't easy to do. President Bai should know that worryless Nye disappeared for many years, And even the Nye family can't find her. Nonsense. Yuan glanced at him. Isn't worryless Nye with the Nye family right now? The man was stuck between a rock and a hard place. The worryless Nye with the Nye family right now wasn't the true worryless Nye. They previously accepted a mission from the Nye family and were led by a confidant of Nye Linglong to China to kill the real worryless Nye. However, worryless Nye ended up being rescued by a white-haired man. Hence, it went without thinking that the worryless Nye in the Nye family absolutely wasn't the real one. Does President Bai want to kill the worryless Nye with the Nye family? Or the missing worryless Nye? The man cautiously asked. What do you mean? Yuan asked coldly. President Bai, I can't divulge other information. Allow me to ask you, though, when did your dispute with worryless Nye occur? The man inquired. Many years ago. Yuan fibbed after a moment of thought. Many years ago. So that's the real worryless Nye then, the man thought inwardly. President Fearless wanted him to kill the real worryless Nye, so it definitely wouldn't do if he killed the fake one. Moreover, what kind of place was the Nye residence? It was impossible for him to go to the Nye residence to kill someone. That was the same as asking for death. Chapter 16:01 President Bai. To be truthful, I suspect the worryless Nye in the Nye residence right now is a fake, the man said with a frown. The true worryless Nye is actually in China. Aside from President Bai, there was also another employer who hired us to kill worryless Nye. Another employer? Who? Worryless Nye has quite a number of enemies, Yuan said nonchalantly. This, President Bai, I'm truly sorry, but us mercenaries can't reveal our employer's information, so I can't say anything. Otherwise, I could sell a past employer today, and I could sell you President Bai tomorrow. I believe President Bai will understand. Truthfully, Yuan could understand the story roughly without the man saying anything more. And I understand. What happened later on? Yuan pursued. That worryless Nye seems to have lost her memory. But even so, we weren't successful in our trip in China because worryless Nye was rescued by someone else. How do you know you were hunting worryless Nye? Yuan continued to probe. If Nye Linglong was really the mastermind, why would she be dumb enough to tell mercenaries they were going to China to kill worryless Nye? Wasn't she be afraid of this matter being exposed? If Yuan was Nye Linglong, she wouldn't have divulged the target's identity. The employer didn't tell us to go kill worryless Nye, but the employer had their subordinate go with us. When the subordinates saw the target back then, they blurted out the name worryless Nye. I was standing rather close to them, so I was the only one who heard them, the man quietly explained. Yuan nodded. This man didn't look like he was lying. What were the results? Yuan asked. The result was, worryless Nye was rescued by someone else, the man truthfully answered. Oh, there's someone in China who could tie your hands? That's unrealistic, no? Yuan snorted. It's a long story. That man had long silver-white hair and terrifying martial arts skills. He also carried a gun. Yuan's expression abruptly shifted. A man's silver-white hair used a gun? Isn't that? The events of a certain night surfaced in Yuan's mind. She was driving in China and hit a man with long, silver hair. The front of the car was dented, but not a hair on the man was harmed. Later, she was ambushed by an assassination attempt from a group of mysterious people, and it was that man who pulled out a gun and repelled those mysterious assassins. Yet this man who participated in the assassination attempt that night was saying their target was worryless Nye. A turbulent storm raged through Yuan's mind. Based on the implicit meaning of this man's words, she was worryless Nye. No matter how she thought about it, she couldn't figure out her relationship with worryless Nye. However, if she was the real worryless Nye, then everything could be explained. If she was worryless Nye, then it was reasonable for those mysterious assassins to try to kill her in China. Those assassins were connected with Nye Linglong because Nye Linglong sent mercenaries to China after learning about her identity and whereabouts. What Yuan didn't understand was how Nye Linglong learned about her identity and whereabouts. All right, I understand. I'll investigate the matter clearly first before deciding. Yuan aloofly said while looking at the man after trying to calm down as much as she could. Chapter 1602. Then I'll wait until President Bai is done investigating. President Bai can contact me at any time if the need arises, the man said with a smile as he stood up. The man didn't truly care whether this deal went through or not, since being able to acquaint himself with the president of the Fearless Alliance, by phone, was far more important than the outcome of this deal. Yes, I hope there won't be a third person who learns of our conversation today, Yuan said meaningfully. The man nodded frantically. Don't worry, President Bai. I naturally understand this. I won't divulge today's matters, even at the risk of my death. After the man left, Li Xin ran inside, brimming with curiosity. He didn't know what kind of mission Yuan issued. However, Yuan left the cafe already. In a corner of Scarlet Flames Academy, Yuan was sitting on a bench with a deep frown. This news was too sudden for her. She didn't expect it at all. If she really was worryless Nia, then wasn't Madame Nia her biological mother and nameless Nia her biological brother? Yuan's expression shifted. That means Tang Tang is my biological son? If my hypothesis is correct, and I'm worryless Nia, then who's Tang Tang's father? Yuan's mind was an utter mess. After trying her best to smooth out her emotions, Yuan took a deep breath. She felt like something was still amiss. She could accept that her real identity was President Fearless by phone. But if she was worryless Nia, it was a bit unimaginable. Based on the timeline she conjectured, worryless Nia went missing at the same time as President Fearless by phone. Then could it be possible that worryless Nia had a second identity as by phone? The logic didn't flow smoothly, but Yuan couldn't come up with a different hypothesis for the time being. While Yuan fretted about a lack of leads, a thought flashed through her mind. First Elder obtained a handful of machines that could conduct DNA testing. How about she tested her DNA with Tang Tang's DNA? If their DNA matched, Yuan didn't think this outcome was possible, but it was worth a shot. If it didn't match, she could eliminate the possibility of her connection with worryless Nia. Yuan dialed 7-star's number. Sis phone, 7-star's voice rang. Is the equipment that First Elder gathered earlier still there? Yuan asked frankly. Is Sis phone referring to the testing equipment? 7-star asked. Yes, the testing equipment. It's still here. All right, tell First Elder that he must keep the equipment and ask him if there are any leftover samples from last time. Also, come pick me up from Scarlet Flames Academy in the next 2 days. Okay, understood. 7-star was a bit confused and didn't understand what Yuan wanted to do, but he wouldn't pursue the matter. After hanging up, Yuan stood up and headed for the D-rank classroom. You're finally back, Zhou Tao said with displeasure as soon as Yuan entered the classroom. What is it? Yuan indifferently glanced at him. What is it? Zhou Fu snorted. Yuan, senior brother Zhang Zunyin told you to clean their dorm room earlier. Have you cleaned it yet? Yuan shook her head in exasperation and returned to her seat. She truly was too lazy to pay attention to these two. Chapter 1603. Zhou Fu's expression shifted upon being ignored by Yuan. She snorted and said, Yuan, who do you think you are? You're just a lowly D-rank mercenary and a newly enrolled student, but senior brother Zhang is a C-rank mercenary. Don't be ungrateful for the face I'm giving you. The expressions of the other students in the classroom all shifted. Yuan wasn't the only lowly D-rank mercenary there. Which one of them wasn't a D-rank mercenary? Zhou Fu managed to insult all the D-rank mercenaries with a sentence. Zhou Fu, aren't you also a D-rank mercenary? Aren't you also a new student? A newly enrolled student coldly questioned while staring at Zhou Fu. Zhou Fu snorted. I'm talking about Yuan, not you. What are you so aggravated about? Did you want to be a flower guardian? Flower guardian? Zhou Tao looked at his sister with a smile. Say, sister, you're kidding, right? How could you call Yuan a flower with her looks? A snicker came from outside the classroom, and Zhang Zunyin and his cohort languidly entered. So lively in here. Did you all finish your missions? Zhang Zunyan asked amiably, sweeping his eyes over everyone. Senior brother Zhang, Zhou Tao and Zhou Fu immediately went up and stood in front of Zhang Zunyan with a bootlicking smile on their faces. I had you two siblings monitor them. How did the monitoring go? Zhang Zunyan indifferently asked with a glance at the Zhou siblings. Zhou Tao hastily replied, Senior brother Zhang, don't worry. My sister and I didn't slack at all and watched over them the whole afternoon. However, some of the missions you issued can't be finished in a day and might need 2 or 3 days. Zhang Zunyan wasn't surprised and merely nodded. Not bad. Just monitor them closely. If they are lazy, he trailed off and turned to leave. Zhou Fu chased after Zhang Zunyan immediately and blocked him. What? Zhang Zunyan frowned when he saw someone standing in his way. Senior brother Zhang, we're monitoring them responsibly, but one of the new students is very arrogant and is utterly disrespecting senior brother Zhang, Zhou Fu said. Oh, a cold glint flickered through Zhang Zunyan's eyes, and he expressionlessly asked, Who is it? That woman. Zhou Fu snorted and turned around, pointing at Yi Wanwan with her pointer finger. Zhang Zunyan was briefly startled. He did have some recollection of the ugly woman who didn't look up from her desk despite the commotion. The missions were all issued, so he had this woman go and clean their dorm room. What? Was the dorm room not cleaned properly? Zhang Zunyan looked indifferent. Senior brother Zhang, it's not that it wasn't cleaned properly. Yi Wanwan didn't even go to clean it at all. As soon as you left, Yi Wanwan disappeared without a trace too. Zhou Tao tattled hastily. That's right. Senior brother Zhang, this woman is utterly disrespecting you. Zhou Fu nodded vehemently. Zhang Zunyan detachedly walked toward Yi Wanwan, and an inexplicable smile spread across his lips as he knocked on her desk with his fingers. Yi Wanwan was originally contemplating her possible relationship with worryless Nya. At the interruption, Yi Wanwan looked up and saw the culprit, Zhang Zunyan. Chapter 16:04. Junior sister, you're a bit distracted, Zhang Zunyan commented with a snort as he stared at Yi Wanwan. What is it? Yi Wanwan impatiently asked. Nothing. I just wanted to explain a principle to you, junior sister, Zhang Zunyan casually replied. Oh, what principle? I'm all ears. Yi Wanwan acted nonchalantly as well. Someone like Zhang Zunyan relied on the fact that he had a little seniority at Scarlet Flames Academy and went around everywhere, bullying new students and making new students finish the compulsive missions the Academy assigned to him instead of finishing them himself. Yi Wanwan seriously didn't have any desire to even directly look at someone like him. At Scarlet Flames Academy, if you don't respect superiors and listen to your senior brother, the consequences are very severe. On the more severe side, you might die miserably. On the lighter side, you wouldn't be able to remain at Scarlet Flames Academy. Zhang Zunyan stared at Yi Wanwan with a curl of his lips. Is that so? I'd like to see then, Yi Wanwan coldly retorted. He was just a mere C-rank mercenary, but he really considered himself the tyrant of Scarlet Flames Academy. Zhang Zunyan stared at her. Not bad. I admire your temperament. But if a person's too sharp, they will only end up hurting themselves. Zhou Fu stood on the side with her brother. She thought Zhang Zunyan would definitely blow a fuse and ruthlessly teach Yi Wanwan a lesson. However, what Zhou Fu didn't expect was for Zhang Zunyan to not do anything and merely turn around after saying that, leading the other C-rank mercenaries out of the classroom. After Zhang Zunyan left, one of the more senior students walked to Yi Wanwan's side with a deep frown. Junior sister Yi, you're truly too impulsive. Yi Wanwan was confused. Impulsive? Yes, too impulsive, the young man sighed. Junior sister Yi, you just entered Scarlet Flames Academy, so you aren't familiar with the school. Zhang Zunyan isn't someone that normal people can provoke. What? Isn't he just a C-rank mercenary? What's so fearsome about him? Soon, I can also rise to C-rank. Li Xin suddenly came up with a face of derision. Junior sister Yi, don't be afraid. Zhang Zunyan wouldn't dare to do much to you. He's just good at bragging. I'd like to see how he'd make you die, Li Xin said to Yi Wanwan. Li Xin, how long have you been at Scarlet Flames Academy? Just 3 months. What do you know? The young man glanced at Li Xian. If Zhang Zunyin was merely a C-rank mercenary, it'd be fine. However, Zhang Zunyin is very smooth and slick with a clever head on his shoulders. He can thrive well amongst the high-ranked mercenaries, and they all call each other brothers. I even heard Zhang Zunyin is friends with senior brother Grim Reaper. Yi Wanwan was originally uninterested, but was startled when she heard the title Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper. Wasn't this alias bought by that Moneybags from the Shun family? Grim Reaper? Which Grim Reaper? Eldest young Master Shun. Yi Wanwan reflexively asked. The young man was taken aback. He didn't expect Yi Wanwan to know about Grim Reaper's identity, despite having only been at Scarlet Flame's Academy for 2 days. Damn, eldest young master of the Shun family? Which Shun family? Don't tell me it's the Shun family that's one of the 4 great clans of the independent state? Li Xian was stunned. Which of the 4 great clans didn't have a thunderous reputation? The surnames Nia, Ji, Shun, and Ling were too terrifying. That's right, it's that Shun family. The young man nodded enthusiastically. Also, I heard that eldest young Master Shun is an S-rank mercenary, and all the mansions that the Scarlet Flames Academy's S-rank mercenaries live in are eldest young Master Shun's masterpieces. He built them for the school. Chapter 16. Oh, 5 Yuan 1. Oh wow, not bad. Eldest young Master Shun. I didn't expect him to do this well at Scarlet Flames Academy. Junior Sister Yi. Pretend I didn't say anything. That bastard, Zhang Zunyin, isn't someone I can offend, Li Xian hastily said to Yuan Wan. Junior Sister Yi. The young man stared at Yuan Wan. Anyway, you better be careful. Zhang Zunyin definitely isn't someone to be trifled with. There was another newly enrolled D-rank mercenary who offended Zhang Zunyin and was intentionally targeted by an instructor. The instructor compulsively issued the new student a mission that a D-rank mercenary couldn't possibly finish, and the new student died during their mission. Okay, got it. Thank you for the warning. Yuan Wan smiled at the young man. It had to be said that the majority of the people at Scarlet Flames Academy were quite decent. It was just a minority of people like Zhang Zunyin, Zhou Tao, and Zhou Fu who damaged Scarlet Flames Academy's reputation. Currently, in the instructor's office, Zhang Zunyin looked at the middle-aged man and asked with a light chuckle, Uncle, you're the one leading Yuan Wan, right? The middle-aged man nodded. Yes, there's a student named Yuan Wan. What about her? Nothing. It's just that I don't really want to see this person anymore. So you should help me give her some special care when you're issuing missions tomorrow. Uncle, Zhang Zunyin said lightly. Oh, was Yuan Wan blind and offended you? The middle-aged man looked pensive. Just so. Zhang Zunyin laughed. All right, I understand. The middle-aged man nodded and agreed. The next morning, inside the D-rank classroom, Yuan Wan looked at information laying on her desk about the basic rules and structure of Scarlet Flames Academy and its mercenary system. Shortly after, an instructor entered the classroom. Upon seeing that all the new students were present, the instructor announced, "We will be issuing the compulsory missions today." Many newly enrolled mercenaries secretly prayed for the instructor to not issue them a mission that was too difficult. Typically speaking, mercenary academies require their students to finish several missions every month, and these missions were typically assigned by an instructor. Once the missions were assigned, the students couldn't decline them and had to accept them, so they were called compulsory missions. If students didn't accept them, they would be expelled from Scarlet Flames Academy. The instructor pulled out a stack of paper. After learning about their assigned mission, many new students smiled. Their missions weren't too difficult. There were also a few people who looked gloomy. Their compulsory missions looked a bit difficult. Yuan Wan. The instructor's gaze landed on Yuan Wan. Yuan Wan looked up. Yuan Wan. Several students went missing in the northern part of Yin City, so head there and scout for news. Immediately report back any clues you discover, the instructor detachedly said while looking at her. Several experienced D-rank mercenary students' expressions shifted, and they reflexively turned to Yuan Wan. The place the instructor mentioned not only had large, ferocious beasts, but also contained many notoriously savage and evil people listed as wanted by the martial arts union. Many defected mercenaries hid there too. Strictly speaking about the mission the instructor assigned to Yi Wanwan, there weren't any problems. But the location of the mission was extremely problematic. Even some high-ranked mercenaries wouldn't dare to accept this mission, let alone a new student. Chapter 16:06. Some new mercenaries found it odd and thought Yi Wanwan offended this instructor, but many old mercenaries knew the matter wasn't that simple. Zhang Zuinyan was probably behind this, since this instructor was named Zhang De and was Zhang Zuinyan's maternal uncle. Yi Wanwan, here's the information about the mission's location and the details you need to pay attention to. Come and take it, the instructor, Zhang De, said to Yi Wanwan aloofly. Zhou Tao looked delighted while Zhou Fu's lips were slightly turned up. She wanted to see how miserably this woman would die. However, Yi Wanwan didn't look like she intended to get up from her seat at all. Yi Wanwan, did you hear what I said? Zhang De asked. Sorry, instructor. I'm not that interested in this mission, so I don't plan to do it, Yi Wanwan suddenly said while looking at him. Everyone was taken back by her response. Didn't Yi Wanwan know about Scarlet Flame's Academy's rules? Even the S-rank mercenaries would have to pack their bags and get lost if they didn't follow the Academy's rules, let alone new students. The instructor had a dark expression on his face as he stared at Yi Wanwan. Are you joking with me, Yi Wanwan? Yi Wanwan nodded. Instructor Zhang, I think you might have some misunderstanding. Oh, so you're planning to accept it then? Zhang De asked. What I mean is that I never joke with people I'm unfamiliar with. Yi Wanwan's lips curled into a bewitching smile. Hoots of laughter rang out in the classroom. Zhang De ominously pointed at Yi Wanwan. All right, since you won't accept it, then return to the dormitory now and pack up your bags before getting lost from Scarlet Flames. Get lost? Yi Wanwan snorted. Why do I need to get lost? Yi Wanwan, this is a rule at Scarlet Flames Academy, the instructor shouted. Then it appears you aren't too familiar with Scarlet Flames Academy's rules, Instructor Zhang. Any mercenary student who's unwilling to accept a compulsory mission from the Academy can waive it by accepting a mission from the mission board. Yi Wanwan calmly smiled. Zhang De snorted. That's right, that's a rule. However, the mission I assigned to you is considered a top D rank mission. So if you had to accept a mission higher than this, you'd have to at least accept a top C rank mission. A top C rank mission was close to a B rank mission. If this woman dared to accept a mission like that, she was all but dead. All right, I'll go and accept one now. Yi Wanwan stood up with a smile and left the classroom, heading for the mission board. Zhang De immediately followed her. Go, let's go and see, Li Xin suggested to the other students. Heh, that woman is simply trying to sound big. Who wouldn't say they'd take a top C rank mission? Zhou Tao snorted. Brother, don't say that. She has to pack her bags and scram soon. Zhou Fu smiled faintly. Every D-rank student in the classroom hustled toward the mission board. Currently, at the mission issuance area, there were many high-ranked mercenary students choosing missions suitable for them. Yi Wanwan slowly entered the area and grinned upon spotting one of the missions. A-rank mission. Defeat Big Dipper from the Fearless Alliance. Chapter 16:07. Yi Wanwan smiled as she stared at the mission. Sorry, Big Dipper, I'll have to wrong you for now. Zhang De and the other D-rank students also arrived at the mission board. Upon seeing this, the high-ranking mercenaries were confused as to why these low D-rank students flooded to this place. Yi Wanwan, you just need to accept the top C-rank mission, and you won't have to do the compulsory mission, Zhang De said to her coldly. Heh. I think she should just accept fate and pack her bags, Zhou Fu, standing next to the instructor, mockingly taunted with a snort. Junior Sister Yi, you mustn't be impulsive. The top C-rank missions are almost B-rank, and we're only D-rank mercenaries. Don't be impulsive. Li Xin fretted anxiously and advised her. Afraid, Yi Wanwan would lose all rationality and seriously accept a mission with a high fatality risk. Even if she had to leave Scarlet Flames Academy, she wouldn't lose her life for no reason. The low-ranking instructor, Zhang was obviously abusing his power for personal revenge as Zhang Zuanyan's uncle and intentionally trying to make Yi Wanwan leave. The high-ranking mercenaries looked pensive, so this new student was unwilling to accept the school's compulsory mission and rashly came to the mission board with the intention of accepting a high-ranking mission. At this moment, an aloof man slowly walked toward Yi Wanwan. Many high-ranked mercenaries were startled at the sight of this man. Li Hanfeng, Elder Gong's most outstanding disciple in name. I heard there's a very high possibility Elder Gong will accept him as a personal disciple. Damn, so that's Li Hanfeng. He hasn't been at Scarlet Flames Academy for more than half a year, but rose to A+ rank from a D rank mercenary at the speed of light. I reckon it won't take long for Li Hanfeng to ascend to an S rank mercenary. Are you Yi Wanwan? Li Hanfeng asked after examining Yi Wanwan for a long while. Yi Wanwan turned to Li Hanfeng. She got lost in thought while staring at the A-rank mission on the mission board, so she didn't notice when this man approached her or hear the discussion around her. You are? Yi Wanwan asked him with confusion. Who I am isn't important. So, are you Yi Wanwan? Li Hanfeng asked again. Yes, that's me. Yi Wanwan nodded with a strange expression on her face. She hadn't been at Scarlet Flames Academy for many days. So how did this high-ranking mercenary know her name? How do you know my name? Yi Wanwan questioned out of curiosity. However, Li Hanfeng merely shook his head and didn't say anything else. Yi Wanwan, are you done choosing yet? Zhou Tao pressed before Yi Wanwan could say anything else. Yi Wanwan, don't suffer just because you want to look good. I think you should just docilely return to the dormitory and grab all of your rubbish so you can stick with that poor grandfather of yours. Zhou Fu derided with a sneer. Yi Wanwan, if you still haven't chosen, I'll forcefully make you leave Scarlet Flames Academy. Zhang De coldly stared at her. Yi Wanwan smiled and ignored them. She walked a few steps so that she was within arm's reach of the bulletin board. Every mission was pasted onto the board like a sticky note. When a student ripped the mission slip off, it was the same as accepting that mission. Everyone in Scarlet Flames Academy knew this rule. Chapter 1608. Damn, you're really going to accept one? What mission are you accepting? Li Xin swiftly walked up and stood next to Yi Wanwan. Reading the brief summary of the mission, Yi Wanwan ripped off. A-rank mission. Defeat Big Dipper of the Fearless Alliance and need video for proof. A-rank mission, Li Xin murmured, his expression abruptly shifting a second later. You've gone mad. It's over, you've gone mad. Li Xin stared at Yi Wanwan in shock. Yi Wanwan, did you rip off the wrong slip? Yi Wanwan looked at Li Xin and aloofly said, That's right, the mission I accepted is a rank. Everyone present, whether it was the students from the D-rank class or the high-ranking mercenary students, was taken aback. It wasn't only an A-rank mission, but it was also related to the Fearless Alliance. This woman had to be suicidal, or she already planned to leave the academy and just wanted to express her displeasure before leaving. There had been students who accepted A-rank missions like this, or even S-rank missions, but didn't do anything after accepting them. Was this woman doing the same? Will this mission suffice? Yi Wanwan glanced at Zhang De while beaming. Zhang Da's face was dark as he coldly said, A top C-rank mission will do, so an A-rank mission is fine, of course. However, are you sure you're going to do it? I bet she's just pretending. I doubt she's actually going to do it. Zhou Tao was sneering with contempt. You're the one pretending. How do you know Yi Wanwan doesn't have the strength to accomplish it? Li Xin pointed at Zhou Tao. What? I just know she won't be able to finish it. If she succeeds in this mission, I will kowtow in front of you 3 times and call you grandfather 3 times. Zhou Tao was scornful. Zhang De didn't let Li Xin respond before saying to Yi Wanwan, All right, since you accepted it, you have to finish it. You have a 1-month limit for A-ranked missions. If you can't finish the mission in a month, you'll still be expelled from Scarlet Flames Academy. Stalling for time is pointless. 1 month. Yi Wanwan was disdainful. No need for such a hassle. 3 days. I'll finish this mission within 3 days. If I can't finish it, I'll pack my bags myself and leave. Everyone put on an odd expression when they heard her. Where did this woman get her confidence? How could a mere new-to-rank student be arrogant to this extent? She claimed she could finish an A-rank mission related to the Fearless Alliance within 3 days. Li Hanfeng furrowed his brows slightly. Master's newly accepted disciple in name truly wasn't too bright. He had gleaned an understanding of the basic situation and originally planned to inform that low-ranking Scarlet Flames instructor that Yi Wanwan was Elder Gong's disciple in name. But Yi Wanwan already accepted an A-rank mission. Now, even if Elder Gong personally stepped in, this wouldn't be an easy matter to resolve. No one could alter the rules of Scarlet Flames Academy. Even the headmaster had to obey them. Junior sister, it's no big deal if you leave the academy, but you mustn't be reckless. Nothing is more important than your life. A good-looking female student advised Yi Wanwan out of kindness. Mercenary students typically didn't dare to easily accept any mission related to the Fearless Alliance, unless they were the genuinely high-ranking mercenaries. Chapter 1609. 1609, that's right. Junior sister, do you know the true meaning of an A-rank mission, especially one related to the Fearless Alliance? Big Dipper is the favorite of Bro Flat Top, the president of the Fearless Alliance, and he has strong martial arts skills. A D-rank mercenary like you is basically serving up your life on a silver platter by accepting this mission. A chubby, high-ranked mercenary interjected with a frown. Yi Wanwan smiled at those two in goodwill. The words of these two high-ranking mercenaries only applied to other people, but she was an exception. Not only did Yi Wanwan not regret taking the mission, but she also stepped forward again and ripped off another mission slip. Everyone looked at the mission summary. A-rank mission. Defeat 7-star from the Fearless Alliance. Need video for proof. Zhou Tao and Zhou Fu were clutching their stomachs and guffawing. Yi Wanwan, you're seriously smashing a pot to pieces just because it's cracked. If you can finish these 2 missions, I'll follow my brother's example and kowtow to you 3 times and call you ancestor. Zhou Fu sneered. I don't have grandchildren like you. Yi Wanwan glanced at Zhou Fu. What's there to bluff about? I'm telling you, you only have 1 month left. In 1 month, you'll be swept out of Scarlet Flames Academy. Zhou Fu stared at Yi Wanwan intently. Yi Wanwan put away the mission slips and didn't want to waste her words anymore, so she turned around and headed for the school gates. She happened to need to return to Fearless Alliance anyway, so she'd finish these 2 missions while she was at it, and save some trouble. Yi Wanwan called 7-star. Sis Phone, Big Dipper, and I have arrived at the base of Scarlet Flames Academy. The rules here don't permit us to drive up there, so please come down yourself, Sis Phone. 7-star's voice was emitted from her phone. Yi Wanwan voiced her compliance and started walking to the base of the mountain after hanging up. The road wasn't too long, so about an hour later, Yi Wanwan reached the base and entered 7-star's car. Sis Phone, didn't you just enter Scarlet Flames Academy? Did you get expelled already? Big Dipper curiously looked at her from the back seat. Yi Wanwan glanced at him. Couldn't this blabbermouth have higher hopes for her? I accepted 2 missions, Yi Wanwan replied. Missions? Big Dipper was instantly interested. What rank are the missions? Sis Phone, let me do them for you. They're easy peasy. Really? She stared at him. Of course. Big Dipper nodded vehemently. This mission isn't easy to do by myself, so I really do need some help from you 2 later. Yi Wanwan smiled mysteriously at Big Dipper and 7-star. No worries, Sis Phone. It's nothing. Big Dipper clapped his chest confidently. 7-star. 7-star didn't know if he was imagining it, but he sensed some inexplicable strangeness from Sis Fang's smile. Around evening, the trio arrived back at the Fearless Alliance's headquarters. As soon as Yi Wanwan entered the office, Great White and Virus stood up and sprinted to her side. Virus lay on the ground and pawed Yi Wanwan. She immediately knelt down and scratched Virus' chin with her right hand. President. First Elder's voice came from outside the door. Yi Wanwan swiftly stood up and walked to her office chair and sat down. First Elder soon entered the office and ignored Virus and Great White. He walked to the front of Yi Wanwan's desk and asked, "President, I heard you needed me for something urgent." Chapter 16:10. Do you still have the DNA testing equipment? Yi Wanwan asked. I do. First Elder nodded. You wanted to test something again, President? Yi Wanwan nodded and took out a strand of hair and handed it to First Elder. Use this hair I'm giving you and test it with the sample from box number 2. The box number 2 Yi Wanwan spoke of was the box containing Tong Tong's hair. Great. There happens to be a few strands left. First Elder nodded and carefully accepted the strand of hair from Yi Wanwan and placed it into a transparent Ziploc bag. That night, Yi Wanwan made time to visit the Nye residence with some clothes and snacks that she bought for Tang Tang and stay the night there. The next morning, Yi Wanwan returned to the Fearless Alliance. First Elder, are the test results out? Yi Wanwan asked after she called First Elder to her office. President, it won't be that fast. You have to wait until 2 or 3 p.m. at least, First Elder answered truthfully. All right, just tell me the results then. Yi Wanwan nodded. After First Elder left, Yi Wanwan called Big Dipper and 7-Star over. Didn't I tell you earlier that I accepted 2 missions? Yi Wanwan asked with a light chuckle, looking at Big Dipper, then 7-Star. 7-Star inquired, Do you need some help, Sis Foam? Yes. The missions I accepted are related to you too. Yi Wanwan smiled. Related to us? Big Dipper was surprised. Sis Foam, just what kind of missions are they? Nothing much. I just need to beat you 2 up. It shouldn't be a problem for you 2 to cooperate with me, right? A gentle smile hung on her lips. Beat us up? No problem. Big Dipper was utterly dumbfounded. Which bastard issued this mission? I'm going to kill him. Agreed, 7-Star echoed calmly. I don't know who issued the mission, but I accepted it, Yi Wanwan said. Big Dipper looked at her in embarrassment. Sis Foam, how about we switch missions? Otherwise, 7-Star and I will end up dead. Yi Wanwan, I wanted to beat you to death for a long time. Don't worry. It's just for show, and you just need to act realistically. I'll be very gentle. Yi Wanwan kept the gentle smile on her face. Sis Foam, are you telling the truth? Big Dipper looked doubtful. Of course I am. When have I ever lied to you? Yi Wanwan furrowed her brows with displeasure. Big Dipper, 7-Star. The group walked outside the headquarters, and Yi Wanwan pulled up the camera on her phone and started recording. So you're Big Dipper from the Fearless Alliance? A strangely ugly woman blocked Big Dipper. Yes, Sis Foam, that's me. Big Dipper nodded vehemently. Yi Wanwan, this is the freaking 7th time you call me Sis Foam. If you call me Sis Foam again, I'll seriously kill you. Yi Wanwan deleted the video with aggravation and prepared to start recording again. I don't want to either, but I'm a bit nervous in front of the camera. Again, Yi Wanwan said with a frown. So you're Big Dipper from the Fearless Alliance? Yi Wanwan icily shouted as she expressionlessly stared at Big Dipper. That's right. I'm your grandfather, Big Dipper. Who are you? Tell me your name, 'cause your grandfather's blade doesn't a nameless ghost. Big Dipper flicked his sleeve and yelled back. Chapter 16:11. You freaking watched too many movies, haven't you? Can't you follow the script? Can't you? However, this was the best run-through from Big Dipper already. All Yi Wanwan could do was follow Big Dipper's lead and keep acting. I'm Yi Wanwan, a mercenary from Scarlet Flames Academy. Since you're Big Dipper, I got the right person then. Yi Wanwan snorted while staring at him. What? You're actually a mercenary from Scarlet Flames Academy. Who ordered you here to fight me? If you don't tell me, I'll kill you. Big Dipper looked furious. I can barely keep acting with Big Dipper as my opponent. I really miss my time as a manager in China. Enough rubbish. Yi Wanwan was exasperated, but had to persevere and continue. Fine. You're truly a contemptible wretch. Wait, no. You're truly a hard bone to chew. Are all of you Scarlet Flames mercenaries so hard? I don't believe it. I'm going to break your bones. Let's see if you'll confess then. Big Dipper viciously lunged toward Yi Wanwan. You freaking. Who designed your lines? Yi Wanwan snorted upon seeing Big Dipper attacking and struck with her palm. However, her palm was still in midair when Big Dipper suddenly howled with pain and flew back several meters before crashing to the ground heavily and wailing tragically like a pig being slaughtered. Yi Wan stared at the ceaselessly wailing Big Dipper, her lips twitching. "Where's my sword? Did I freaking touch you? Why did you fly back? Do I freaking have superpowers?" Yi Wan marched forward and grabbed Big Dipper by his belt, lifting him up. "I'm asking you, do I have superpowers? Do I have supernatural abilities?" Big Dipper finally stopped his howling and looked at Yi Wan, silently thinking for a moment before saying, "Sis Feng, I think it's entirely plausible. My acting is super realistic and complements your unrivaled strength, Sis Feng. Look, you haven't even touched me, and I already flew back and look seriously injured. When you go back to Scarlet Flames Academy, everyone will deeply revere you." "So you've given much thought to this, then," Yi Wan said with a smile. "That's right." Big Dipper nodded frantically. "You truly understand me, Sis Feng. My acting is different from other people. If I went and became an actor, would I become a superstar? Do you want me to murder you?" Yi Wan gritted her teeth. She swore she'd never been so exasperated by someone before. There probably couldn't be more than one person like Big Dipper showing up every millennium. "Sis Feng, tell me then, how should I act? I think this type of acting method is nearly perfect. Your standards are seriously too high, Sis Feng. Even if you really invited a superstar, I don't think they'd act as well as me." "Sis Feng, why do I feel like you're about to cry?" Big Dipper grinned innocuously, flashing his brilliantly white teeth. "Yi Wan, damn you, follow the script and learn the lines by heart." Yi Wan tossed a sheet of paper at Big Dipper, looking utterly disappointed. Nearby, Seven Star looked at Big Dipper and sighed. He calmly walked up and said to Yi Wan, "Since this isn't working, how about I go first, Sis Feng?" Even Seven Star couldn't tolerate Big Dipper's extremely exaggerated acting, let alone Yi Wan. Chapter 1612. 1612. Yi Wan nodded in agreement with Seven Star's suggestion. They had nothing else to do anyway, so she could act out a round with Seven Star first. "I've also written your script," Yi Wan said to him. "Sis Feng, no need for script. This type of acting shouldn't be too hard," Seven Star replied calmly. "Old Seven, Sis Feng isn't satisfied with even me, so let's not mention you. Just wait until you get a shouting. How arrogant are you to say you don't need a script?" Big Dipper curled his lips contemptuously. Yi Wan deleted the previous video with Big Dipper and restarted the recording. She was a bit less worried about Seven Star, since he was more reliable than Big Dipper. This was an undeniable truth. "So you're Seven Star from the Fearless Alliance," Yi Wan said expressionlessly while staring at Seven Star. Seven Star turned around, indifferently examining Yi Wan. "May I ask if you sought me out due to a conflict or a favor?" Seven Star aloofly asked Yi Wan. "It's neither a conflict nor a favor. Just official business," Yi Wan replied. "Based on your outfit, you must be a mercenary from Scarlet Flames Academy." Seven Star smiled, unconcerned. "People from independent states, 3 great academies, sought me out in the past, but I'm still alive while they're dead. Would you still like to continue?" "Enough nonsense. My mission is to beat you up." Yi Wan sneered. However, as soon as Yi Wan finished speaking, Seven Star disappeared from his spot. He took a step forward and immediately appeared in front of Yi Wan. Without a word, his hand shot toward her. Yi Wan was surprised. This lad's acting wasn't bad. Yi Wan dodged to the side instantly, and their right hands collided with each other. Bang! Kaboom! Strange noises came from Big Dipper's mouth. Yi Wan, Seven Star. Yi Wan swore she would hack Big Dipper to death if she had a sword on hand. Yi Wan and Seven Star tried to remain unaffected by Big Dipper and continued to fight. Kaboom, kaboom. Bang, bang, bang. Pow! However, Big Dipper's volume grew louder and his noises turned stranger. "If you don't freaking give me a reasonable explanation, I won't be Sis Feng unless I kill you." Yuan Wan threw out her acting shoes and seized Big Dipper by his right ear, dragging him toward her. I would also like to know what you're doing, Seven Star added while looking at Big Dipper, who looked like he had been wronged. I'm providing sound effects for you. Is there a problem? Your fight didn't look imposing at all to me. Look at how silent it was when your palms slammed together. The kabooms, bangs, and POWs were my sound effects, Big Dipper hastily explained. Do you have a sword? Yuan Wan looked at Seven Star. I don't. Seven Star shook his head. But I can go and grab one. Don't. Fine, I'll stop dubbing, Big Dipper urgently protested. If you appear in our shot again and continue your so-called dubbing, Seven Star and I will beat you to death. Do you understand? Yuan Wan fumed between gritted teeth. Understood, understood. I guarantee I will just sit on the side and won't move an inch. Big Dipper promised while clapping his chest. This time, Big Dipper learned his lesson and didn't continue making trouble. He merely sat on the side and watched, not daring to even breathe loudly. Half an hour later, Yuan Wan's scene with Seven Star finally concluded. Chapter 16:13 Perfect. Yuan Wan was beaming as she gave Seven Star a hand from his position lying on the ground. Seven Star's acting was absolutely satisfactory. It surpassed Luo Chen's, let alone Gong Su's. What was more frightening was that this was Seven Star's first time acting. As long as you're satisfied, Sis Foam, Seven Star said with a nod. Yuan Wan stared at him pensively. His looks were coldly handsome. He was fairly young, his acting was good, and his martial arts skills were a giant thumbs up too. If she brought Seven Star to China and introduced him to the entertainment industry there, taking on the role of his manager, he would absolutely become a money-making tree. If she was the one to package and mold Seven Star, he would definitely become an international superstar. Seven Star, is this really your first time acting? Yuan Wan asked him doubtfully. Yes, Seven Star replied. There's nearly no situation that requires acting here. Just as Yuan Wan wanted to say something else, Big Dipper eagerly ran over to them and giggled. Sis Feng, what's there to praise about such crude acting skills? I can also act like that if you let me. Yuan Wan glanced at Big Dipper and could only force herself to act out her scene with him. Big Dipper's acting this time was a tinge better than earlier. Yuan Wan didn't want to continue wasting time, and the video shouldn't have any problems after some post-production editing. After recording the videos, a young member of the Fearless Alliance came running over. President, the Fearless Alliance member ingratiatingly looked at Yuan Wan and carefully said, President, First Elder told me to come here to inform you that the matter you requested produced a result, and he wanted you to go back and take a look immediately. What's the result? Yuan Wan asked him curiously. This subordinate doesn't know. First Elder didn't tell this subordinate. The Fearless Alliance member answered. Let's go. We'll head back now, Yuan Wan said to Seven Star and Big Dipper. Soon, Yuan Wan returned to the Fearless Alliance. First Elder placidly entered the office with a report in hand and stopped in front of Yuan Wan's desk. What's the test result? Yuan Wan asked First Elder. In truth, this test was ordered impulsively by Yuan Wan. She didn't really think she could be worryless Nye, since it was seriously too much of a stretch. President, the results are out. Take a look for yourself, First Elder said to Yuan Wan with a smile as he gently placed the report on the desk. Yuan Wan, didn't I say I couldn't understand the result at all last time? I can't read the contents. Tell me directly. Yuan Wan had no choice but to be frank. President, according to the final results of the test, at least 99% of the DNA matches, First Elder quietly explained to her. Yuan Wan was taken aback. At least 99% of the DNA matches. First Elder is saying. The scientific explanation for this is that there is a positive blood relationship, First Elder added. Yuan Wan felt like a volcano erupted in her head and her mind turned blank. The load of information this time was truly too much and was more shocking than the result from last time that said the current worryless Nye was an impersonator. Yuan Wan found herself unable to accept it. Upon seeing Yuan Wan in a daze, First Elder furrowed his brows and looked at her with worry. President, are you okay? Chapter 1614 First Elder didn't know what had happened or the origin of the sample given to him by Yi Wanwan. However, based on Yi Wanwan's reaction, First Elder could guess that the owners of the sample had a deep relationship with Yi Wanwan. I'm fine. Yi Wanwan regained her wits and smiled at First Elder faintly. All right, I understand. You've worked hard the last 2 days. You can head back now. President, you mustn't hide any problems from us. First Elder vaguely sensed that something big would happen due to this test result. After speaking, First Elder turned and left the office. After First Elder left, Yi Wanwan allowed her shock and whiplashed feelings to fully surface on her face. Yi Wanwan was extremely certain that the hair sample used in the test was hers, and it was personally given by her to First Elder, so there couldn't be any mistake about that. In other words, the samples were indeed from her and Tang Tang, so the test result couldn't have any errors at all. I'm Tang Tang's biological mother. Yi Wanwan was flabbergasted, and disbelief enveloped her. Not only was she Tang Tang's mother, but she was also Madame Nie's daughter and nameless Nie's biological younger sister. How could that be possible? Yi Wanwan murmured, finding it hard to accept. This way, that mercenary told the truth and didn't lie. The person they intended to assassinate in China was truly worryless Nie. Her. Yi Wanwan was stupefied from head to toe. She somehow went to Scarlet Flame's academy, somehow met Li Exine, somehow sought out Li Exine's big brother, then somehow tested her DNA with Tong Tong's. All of the aforementioned would be nothing if it weren't for the fact that the final test result somehow verified she really was worryless Nie, the second miss of the Nie family, who went missing for many years. Yi Wanwan felt her head swelling as thousands of thoughts raced through her mind. If she really was worryless Nie, then who was Tong Tong's father? Did she know Si Yihin when she was in the independent state back then and was still worryless Nie? If she knew Si Yihin, could Si Yihin be Tong Tong's father? But if she really had a child with Si Yihin, could Si Yihin truly be absolutely clueless? Si Yihin obviously didn't know about Tang Tang. If she didn't have Tang Tang with Si Yihin, then who did she have Tang Tang with? Her fiancé, Ji Shiran. Soon, Yi Wanwan rejected this notion. If it really was Ji Shiran, how could he not acknowledge Tang Tang? Even if he didn't, the Ji family would acknowledge this grandson, right? Also, nameless Nie previously mentioned that his sister, worryless Nie, had Tang Tang with a wild man, so this wild man couldn't possibly be Ji Shiran. Wild man, Yi Wanwan murmured. Just who were they referring to as the wild man? Yi Wanwan naturally leaned towards Si Yihin being the father, but right now, the only person deeply related to Si Yihin, Lord Azura, still hadn't admitted he was Si Yihin. Even though Lord Azura was poisoned by the love goo, he remained unaffected. Right now, every clue pointed at Si Yihin, though. As soon as Lord Azura admitted he was Si Yihin, many questions would be answered. Of course, she couldn't remember any of this. It would be best if she could have the headmaster of Scarlet Flame's Academy help her. Otherwise, even if she knew she was worryless Nie, she wouldn't be able to remember anything. I'm actually worryless Nie. Yi Wanwan looked stunned. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.